What's up, Camp Broadside? I'm your host, Troy Mosby. Hey, if you've been hunting very long, you've probably heard of the song, the 30-point buck. Well, we don't have the 30-point buck on with us tonight, but we do have the 27-point buck, and we're super stoked to hear this story. So without further ado, please help me give a big old Camp Broadside welcome to Mr. Dakota Pool.
Troy's talking about the 10-point miss. Swears it was close, but it don't sound like it. Brandon's grinning, bragging about his doe. Bartlett spike, well, we all know it's blood trails and bucktails. Round the fire where the whiskey sails. Every hunt's a story, every shot's a chance. What's your story to tell? What's your...
I'm telling you, that shit was the craziest thing I ever seen.
Dakota Pool.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, buddy?
All doing good. Yourself?
Man, I'm doing great. I really appreciate you coming on, man.
Absolutely.
I've been looking forward to
it's a
talking to
privilege.
you, and ever since I met you and got to know a little bit about your story, I was like, man, I want to get him on here and talk
I
about
appreciate that.
I want to talk about the buck and just who you are in general. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Well, it's a privilege to be here. I
Awesome,
appreciate
man.
the opportunity.
Thank you. Before we get into your 25 deer season, if you want, man, if you want to just tell everybody who you are, how you got into hunting, you know, and just let us know who you are, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, man. I just started as a young age, at a young age, deer hunting, just as really an escape. I mean, we talked a little bit, you know, like childhood is a little rough, and it was really my escape, and it was the one thing that I was just really good at. I played baseball and I played football, and I'm quitting both of them just because I was like, I'd just rather be in the woods.
Yeah.
I started out riding my bike with my bow and going to a permission farm that I had, and that was just my escape. And my mom and dad would be taking me to the woods every single day after they got off work. Like, you know, I'm just so blessed that they allowed me to go as much as I did.
Yeah, for
allowed me to
sure.
quit sports. And
So
you know,
how old was you when you started bow hunting?
I was probably 14.
Oh,
I bet
nice.
you I was 14.
Yeah.
Is when I got my first bow. My dad didn't back in the day, it was 12 years old was when your dad started taking you hunting.
Yeah.
And so I shot my first deer at 12 years old with a 30-30. And I've listened to your podcast before, and you talked about, you know, like there's so much more opportunity to hunt.
Yeah.
Like what I'm missing out. Like
We can hunt a week and a half, or we
Yeah.
can hunt months.
yeah, like there was 2 days in the year. Are
Yeah.
you kidding me? So I picked up a bow, and honestly, I started without sights,
Yeah.
and I had no sights. I didn't even know what sights were. I'm pretty sure I shot fingers even with the compound bow,
Right.
and it was just amazing. And I've just always taken such a fascination to whitetail.
How old was you when you killed your first deer with a bow?
I think I had to have been 14, 15. It was the first year or two of getting into bow hunting,
Yeah.
and it was just a little forkhorn. And I'll tell you right now, I danced. I
I'm
danced.
telling you, dude, isn't that
Yeah.
an amazing fit? It's
Yeah.
I've always enjoyed rifle hunting. You know what I'm saying? But there's just something about shooting a deer with a bow and an arrow. You know what I mean? It's just amazing. It's a total different feeling to me. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I had somebody on one time, and they nailed it for me, and I really liked what they said. They said it's a lot more intimate. And I'm like, oh, you're right. That's
good.
what it is, man. It's just
good.
intimate. You know, you're that close to that deer and
Yeah.
knowing you're about to take its life. And
I think I've just taken a fascination to just conquering the animal, learning the animal and conquering the animal. It was probably only 8-9 years ago that I really started honing in and learning the specific animal and hunting the specific animal rather than just getting lucky.
yeah,
You know,
there's two totally different.
yeah, absolutely.
Studying, like you said, studying, learning the animal and all that, or just going out and hunting. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
But that's a little bit about me. And in high school years, like I just bow hunted it as much as I could. They called my truck the deer hearse back in school. Like,
That's amazing.
yeah, I had to get the sticker on the front of it.
Yeah,
You know,
for
it
sure.
I got rid of that. My
Now,
high
did
school
you have
truck.
buddies that hunted with you?
I did,
or
but I just knew it was just
it was your thing?
it was I took it to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
Like there was a guy that was on the weekend during rifle season, and then there was me every single day.
Yeah.
I hunted every day. And I still do to this day.
Yeah.
With the support system that
I
I
need
have.
to
But
hang out with you more often. That's yeah.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'll lay in bed at night just thinking about whitetails, but Yeah, but yeah, I've never paid $1 for a land. I've been so blessed and fortunate with the property that I hunt, and then the adjoining properties, and then I mean, if you've seen Monix, it's like a Christmas tree. You
Yeah.
know, with especially with Missouri, it's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah. Man, there's some great hunting here in Missouri.
Yeah,
man.
absolutely. It's you know, I really feel like there's an art to where you door knock, where you go. And you know, I have an imaginary line where I'm at. You know, when pressure gets hard, I go for the little properties. That's where I really hone in. As I door knock on smaller parcels, and I will get right next to them bigger parcels that those guys think they're just invincible.
Yeah.
You know, they
And
get,
you got this little
and I
10
will be,
acre parcel.
I'm talking
or smaller
I've
even.
I've killed deer on some. I had a 10-acre property one time that was 100 yards wide.
Oh, wow.
You want to talk about? I have access to every single parcel from one highway to the next. Like,
Yeah.
it was long,
Yeah.
and it was a very unique property. Actually, my wife killed her first buck out of that
Oh, nice.
out of that property, and we killed a lot of deer, but they come and go so often.
So is your wife bow hunting as well?
She bow hunts now. Yeah,
Nice.
yep.
How long has she been doing that?
She's only been bow hunting for I think 2 years now, but she's
Really?
an incredible shot. I know.
No. Okay.
Yeah, she's pretty phenomenal.
My wife, I was telling you earlier, she got shoulder problems right now,
Yep,
but they're in the
yep.
midst of getting that taken care of. So she's hoping maybe next year she'll be able to use a bow. So I'm kind of nervous because she's super competitive for one, and her whole goal is going to be to outshoot me 100%. And she
probably
will do
will.
it.
She probably
100%.
will.
She
Honestly,
could
I
probably
suck.
outshoot me right now with her broken shoulder. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Honestly, I suck at shooting.
I'm
I
the
mean,
same
I
way.
practice my butt off, but as soon as it comes down to that moment,
Boy,
I mean,
there's
especially
something
the
about
deer
it.
that I've been like after forever. But anyhow,
There's those times when you make that shot and you're like, what just happened?
mm-hmm.
What just happened? It was this guy right here. So one year I shot him, didn't kill him, but I shot him, and I'm like, I seen my arrow. It was high, and I'm like, how did I shoot him high? He was 20 yards. No idea what happened. Clearly something happened, and I was so mad and disappointed in myself. I was like,
Was it
"Dude,
just below the spine?
yes?"
Yeah, I've done that same
I was
exact
like,
thing.
you practice and
Yeah.
practice and practice, and how did you do that? Now I don't know. Maybe I hit a twig. I try to throw that excuse out there a lot, but
Hey man, like you
Or
gotta
maybe
have your
I just
excuses in your back
pulled, you know?
pocket.
Yeah, that's right,
You
that's right.
gotta have them in your back pocket at all times.
But then I followed blood
Mm-hmm.
forever. Couldn't find him. I was like, gosh darn it, man. And then like 2 weeks later, all of a sudden I see this buck on camera. Back then I used cameras, and I seen this buck on camera, and he had a wound right there. I go, that's him, man. Well, I never seen him in person the rest of that season.
Mm-hmm.
Completely kind of forgot about him as I went into the next season. And I shot him in September, like the last week of September.
How rewarding is that to kill
Oh
a deer
my
that
goodness,
you've done
dude.
wounded one time and like
I was
he
like,
has
you were
beat you?
meant to be
Yeah.
mine.
Yeah.
And I didn't even realize that. I mean, I thought, man, he looks like that buck. And when I got to him finally, I could see that scar on
Was
his
he any
back.
bigger?
Yeah, he was a little bit bigger.
Awesome.
So I was happier about that,
Yeah.
you know, but it like you said, it was super rewarding just to get
Mm-hmm.
that second chance to get him on the ground, you know. And,
Yeah.
But it's just like I practice from January. I mean, I shoot my bow all year round. I try to shoot it daily. And I'm like, sometimes you get in that moment and them shots, I don't know what happens, you know, and it was just adrenaline. Heck, the drop tine I shot this year or
Yep.
last season, when I went to pull back on that deer, I got about halfway back and I was like, oh no.
I've seen that happen before.
Yeah,
I've
I'm
never
like,
had it
what
happen
has
to me
happened?
personally, and I've taken somebody hunting and they'd done the same exact thing. Never could get it drawn.
Yeah, I finally was just like, pull the sucker back, and I drew it.
Yeah.
But I was like, what was that about?
Mhm.
I never had that issue on another deer. I don't know if I was just that excited. I don't know what
Were
it
you
was.
cold?
No. I don't know what it was.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Well, I don't know if you've heard it, but I was asleep in my
Yep.
saddle, and then I took a pee, and then I turned around and he's staring at me, and I'm like, everything was like, now.
What time of the day was that?
This was at 11:30.
Yeah. I always say 10 to 2.
I love those hours.
10 to
man.
2.
I've killed more deer in those hours than morning or night.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yep. What's your theory on that?
I don't know. I don't know if it's, well, I would say it's from, like on public land. If I was on public land, I would say maybe it's from other hunters moving in and out. You know, they leave 10, 11, 12 o'clock. So they're moving deer around. But like some of the areas I'm hunting, there's not other hunters there. So I'm not really sure if they're just out midday strolling or what they're doing. You know,
That's
what I
some
mean?
of the things I love to just dissect.
What's your thoughts?
So my whole thought on it is a big mature deer, he's not going to move first thing in the morning. So all the does are just kind of like, you know, scattered all over the place. So at that point, he knows that it's going to be a little bit harder and he's going to have to go out into the open. He's going to go all over the place. Instead, he waits for, you know, around 10 o'clock, all your does go bed down and they'll be in the bedding area. So that's when he'll go and cross those downwind areas, perhaps. Whitetail research guy says he'll find all the trails and he'll intersect all the trails and find out if there's a hot doe in that huddled up group of does. So that's when the doe period is bedded most of the time. That's when you'll find that one doe that's just running all over the place in the woods. That's the hot doe. There's not a whole bunch of them all over the place. There's just that one. He can hone in. You know, they're all huddled up, so it's a lot easier to pick out. And he's not having to travel all over the place.
Yeah.
And be vulnerable.
That makes a lot of sense right there.
I've thought about it so many times, and I witnessed at a really young age as a bow hunter, those moments, and I've just really tried to understand it.
Yeah, it's amazing to me, like you was talking about, that you can have 6 does here, and only one of them's hot.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
And if they're all huddled up, he's just got to hit the trails.
Yeah.
And then he'll be able to go right to it.
I wonder,
he'll be able to
because
go right to that doe.
that morning, I heard something behind me, and I looked, and I texted my oldest son, Brandon, and I said, "Dude, I just seen the biggest buck I've ever seen in my life." It wasn't him. It was a different one.
Okay.
And I was like, I tried grunting him in. He wasn't 25 yards behind me, but he was at the top of this ridge, and his nose was on the ground. Like he was on a hot doe's trails.
Yep.
And he wasn't paying me no attention. And I got him to stop, but there was too much brush and stuff. There was no way I could get a shot that direction. And so he ended up going down the hill, down to the creek. But he was on a what I thought was a hot doe, because he was nose to the ground. Well, when that buck come in, he had to been coming in that same trail that doe, because I'd watched several doe come in on this same trail, and he came in on that same trail. So I wonder if he was smelling that doe, had his nose down, and he didn't see me till I seen him. You know what I mean? Could be.
Absolutely.
I like your theory about that, though.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
I just love dissecting things like that and try to really understand. Instead of just like a guess or something, you know, I just remember the aha moment when I watched a group of does come into an area, and it was a river kind of setting. So, you know, it was taller grass, all these does kind of huddled up in there, and I could see them moving around every once in a while. And next thing you know, one of the biggest deer I've probably ever seen, and ended up being a historical, like really good stand, because I've seen a lot of big deer from 10 to 2 in that same exact spot. And I watched it happen many a times, and I was always there, you know? And so I got to witness it firsthand. I actually never even killed a deer out of that stand, but I got to witness some really cool stuff.
Yeah. Do you still have that access to that stand now?
That was long gone.
Long gone.
Yep. So they come and go pretty often, unfortunately. But but I love that. I love a new property, and you get to dissect a new property and just really understand it.
Yeah, we just got access to it's a small property. Where I'm hoping to get a
permission.
Finding a turkey on it. It's actually not far, but I think it's like 20 acres, but it hasn't been hunted. It's been hunted. People's hunted around it, but that particular spot hasn't been hunted. So I've been in there once trying to get the lay of the land and stuff.
How much of it is timber?
Probably about more than half of it.
Okay.
Yeah. So
pretty open timber, thick?
Yeah. It's pretty open.
As I'm driving up here, I noticed you guys got a lot of honeysuckle.
Yeah.
A lot of underbrush honeysuckle.
Yeah, for sure.
I am battling that stuff constantly.
Are you?
Yeah. I'm all about the take and give, you know, like the honeysuckle just create a desert land in your forest floor.
They'll just take it over.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've always heard that actually.
They will take it over. So as soon as deer season ends, that's when I'm going to battle.
You're
with this
fighting.
honey. Yeah, because if you think about it, when I picture a big buck, what setting do you imagine a big deer? And that's usually a river bottom area. Like the tall grasses. You just kind of picture them coming through the tall weeds. And I've dissected with this. It's like why is that area always so good? And it dawned on me because of floods. They're constantly wiping out the lower underbrush. The floods is just constantly wiping it out, and it creates sunlight on the forest floor, which will create your weedy forage, forage. Yeah. And that is what grows a big deer, is the weedy forage that a deer eats. And so I've always really honed in on that and just tried to create sunlight on my forest floor. Get a little bit of grasses, burn it off, let it grow taller, and that's what's going to really.
And then it all makes sense what you're saying. As you're talking, stuff starts clicking. I'm like, oh, that's why they're doing burn-offs and stuff like that.
It's on fire, dude.
I mean?
I love it.
This is going to be a long podcast. Dude, we might have 2-3 parts coming up.
I love this stuff, man. When you get me talking habitat.
And I love that stuff because I don't know a lot about that stuff, so it's all educational to me. So if I'm looking at you
man,
like,
if you want more, I got it.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of things I sit in bed at night and think about. Absolutely. It's just, I don't know. I just create my good habitat, and then I will figure out my excess afterwards. Deer are going to change as you constantly change what your surroundings look like.
Yeah.
I've never been upset at my neighbors. I've just tried to think about what can I do to improve myself. What can I get ahead of? And everybody just calls me crazy. I'm hanging tree stands on January 16th. I'm getting ready. While that memory is fresh in my brain with how I witnessed a deer travel, how I got these trail camera pictures at what time and how often he was coming through there, I hung a tree stand that's going to kill a 160 buck next year. I hung a tree stand. It's going to kill him. Yeah. I guarantee it. Yeah. I went and sat there probably 3 weeks ago just to sit there.
Do you do that? You just go sit in your stands and
man, this is it. I just love it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just want to. I want to just feel like I'm there. I can picture it happening. I created two funnels that come together and then they cross the fence over to the neighbors, and I'm intersecting. Yeah, absolutely.
And you're hyped about it.
Oh, yeah, dude, I'm fired up.
I would be too, yeah.
I'm fired up. I can show you pictures of the deer I'm going to kill.
Yeah.
I guarantee it.
Yeah.
It's a deer that neighbor's like, oh, he's too smart. He's smart. I almost killed him. It's like,
you're going to get him.
Yeah, I have his sheds.
Yeah.
I
know you've killed some big deer.
Yeah. A respectable deer.
Yeah.
I spend enough
time. You
time.
call them respectable. I call them big.
I appreciate it.
Big.
I appreciate it, man. I put my heart and soul into it. I really do. And
that's awesome. Dude.
I have a lot of passion in it. And I've found God in a tree. And I've had to learn a lot about myself and about life when it comes to chasing these whitetails, because it could really, overtake your life.
Yeah.
A lot of people do, and I've heard so many tragic stories with relationships ending all because of chasing a whitetail. Yeah. And I'm sure I'm guilty of a lot of things when it comes to prioritizing me, but it's God has helped me really hone in on what is good and what is bad.
Yeah. I always say that, man. I used to say when I'm in my saddle 20 foot up in a tree, I'm closer to God.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I heard somebody say this here. I don't remember who it was, but it's been about in the last year I heard it. And so I've changed I even made an AI song about it, using it. But he said that I'm not closer to God when I'm 20 foot up in a tree. I can just hear him better, or I can hear him clearer, because I don't have all the hustle and bustle around me distracting me. It's just me and God and his nature. You know what I'm saying? And I absolutely love that. I tell people all the time, you've probably heard it, I know you've watched my podcast, is I've changed myself. I've done more self-reflection. I've made more changes in my life. up in a tree than I have anywhere on my in my life. You know what I mean? There's nothing better to me than being out there with God, and I pray a lot. Man, I'll tell you this little story real quick. I just got to say it. I've said it in one other one, but I love this story. So I watched this dude on a like a YouTube or a TikTok video, and I don't know if this stuff's real, but it happened. You know exactly what I'm
I
talking
heard
about.
it, man. I heard it. No, you tell it, man.
So he he says he's up in the tree and he sees an eagle flying above him.
Yeah.
And so he's watching the eagle and he's praying at the same time, and he finally says, God, I know I'm not supposed to ask this of you, but if you actually hear me, can you give me a close encounter with that eagle? And he says some time goes by, well, then he turns to the camera like this, and this eagle's on his shoulder. Like I said, I don't know. Stuff's true, not true. God's a miracle worker, so is anything possible? Anything's possible. But as time goes by, I'm up in a tree one day and I'm praying, and I just thought, man, that was super. If that was real, that was super cool. And so as I'm praying, I said, God, I know I ain't supposed to ask this of you, but I said, if you can actually, if of all the people in the world, you hear me, I said, can you give me a close encounter with an eagle? And I go, no, make it an owl. I love owls. Give me a close encounter with an owl. That was at 2:30 in the afternoon. Never thought about it again, you know. It's starting to get dark. I'm watching this spot where these deer come out, and I'm honed in on it, you know. I'm ready for something to happen. And man, all of a sudden this silver thing comes out of the bushes, lands in a tree 10 yards from me, is this giant owl, and he's looking at me.
How often does that happen?
Right? And I'm looking at him, and it took a second, then I went, oh my goodness, you asked for this, man.
Amen.
And I was like, wow. And I said, thank you, God.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, you didn't have to do that. There's no one ever going to tell me that wasn't God. You know what I mean? No one will ever tell me that's a coincidence. It happened. I got pictures, videos to prove it. You know what I'm saying? And that's something between me and God. And now, if I'm going through something mentally or just anything, and I start questioning things, I always go, hey, remember that owl? Out of everybody in this world, he listens to you. Pray about it. You know what I mean?
He filled your glass.
Yes,
He
100%.
did.
I
He
love
filled your
that.
glass.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean, it's when you start talking that kind of stuff, I'll get chills and goosebumps. I'll be like, man, I love that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
I'll send you that song I made. You'll love that. Dude.
Absolutely.
It's really good.
I have a similar story with
Let's hear
that.
it.
I was actually hunting this megabuck that I killed the year before I shot him. And I honestly, I don't know if I've told but one or two people this story, and I don't know why I haven't told more. But I was hunting him along the railroad tracks, and I knew that he was in this wood lot. And these trains often stop all evening. They'll just be parked. And I was sitting there, and I thought it was going to happen. Like, I had pictures of him. This deer's within 100 yards of me, no doubt about it. And he's got one way to go, and he was going to come my way. Obviously, he didn't, because I killed him the year after. But as this train was passing me, I said, God, if you could just stop this train, I would just,
no way.
It would just be so amazing. I have a video of it.
Yeah.
This railroad car pulls up and it says Jesus.
No
big
way,
on the side
dude.
of it, and it stops.
Wow.
I swear on everything, it stops. I didn't kill the deer, but it was a message.
It was
that
definitely.
He is in control.
Do you have a picture of that car?
I do.
Send it.
I absolutely.
We're gonna put it right here.
I could not believe it. I just
That's freaking awesome.
I have a video. I'm like, you have to be kidding me.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And like, I was like, I'm in my tree saddle, just in the best tree that I could be in at that moment.
Yeah.
And, it's.
When things like that happen, man, it's just, it makes everything so worth it. I mean, I don't even care if I kill a deer at this point. You know what I mean?
I'm the same way.
That was amazing. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm there to hunt.
Yeah.
I'm not there to kill. I'm there to hunt. And I'm there to enjoy nature and what God has provided me.
That's right. And I knew, so I've said this before, you probably heard it. My oldest son really dove off into, him and my middle son, they're both bow hunters and whatnot. But my oldest son, he really dove off into it this year. I mean, this guy hunted more than,
how old is
probably as much as you did.
he? Yeah.
I think he's 31.
Oh, wow. He's getting into it
31. He was
late.
born in 94.
Yeah.
He's hunted before.
Better late than never.
But he got
Yeah.
out of it, and then he started his own electric company, and so he's just been going and going and going. And this year he was like, I wanna hunt like for reals. And I was like, all right, cool, man. I've heard it before from all my kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you get them all set up with a bow, and you get them. They'd always be like, "You got so much crap, all that." I'm like, "Yeah, half of it's for y'all to use." You know what I mean? But and then they don't use it. And you're like, ah. So I was like, "Well, yeah, for sure." And I'm thinking, whatever. Well, he did. He hunted every chance he got. He was in the woods, and when he started talking about the sunrise and the sunsets, and he started telling me about things he's seen and prayers he had and whatever, I was like, by the end of the season, I told him, I said, "You're a hunter, bro."
As a
You
father,
ain't
how
out
does
there.
that make you feel?
Good Lord, man. I was just so proud of him. You know what I mean? I'm proud of all my children.
Yeah.
But when you have there's certain moments each one of them have. And it may be totally different than any of the other ones. But there's those special moments between you and them. And it's like, when I see that happen, and I'm like, you became a hunter. You're not just out here killing stuff. You're not out here just bragging rights or trying to get the biggest buck you can get. You're out here because you love being out here.
Yeah.
That's the difference between a
I
killer.
love
and
that
a
for him
hunter.
and for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was spectacular.
Learn encouragement.
And then in the same season, my middle son shot his biggest buck ever with a bow, monster buck. So I was like, oh my goodness, man. I was super proud of him. And then he actually got his wife on a buck, and she shot it, but they wasn't able to recover it. But it was like I told her, I said, you got that close. I mean, that's not
With the bow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not many people get that opportunity to be that close. And you'll get it, you know what I mean? You'll
Good for them.
little tweaks here and there, you'll figure it out.
I've had such amazing moments with my wife in the woods.
Oh, I can only imagine,
Oh,
man.
my goodness, man.
I'm like, is it gonna be if my wife really gets into this? Is it gonna be? I hope I'm sitting there and saying that, like, man, I've had these, or am I be like, man, this girl taking all my money, she buying all these other bows.
Man, she ended up getting permission on her own property. And it's some of the best property I've ever seen.
No
200
kidding.
acres.
Does she allow you to hunt on it?
No, not so much. She has her
She
own
said
camera. She
nope.
has her own bow.
Dude,
I help her with everything,
You
though,
gotta,
which
you gotta
I love.
send her my way. I
Dude.
gotta get her on her.
She
I'm
would
gonna
do
set.
it.
I'm gonna
She
set
would
it
do
up too. I'm working on it now where I can have two guests.
Yeah.
And so I thought that would, because I've had a few people that their wives do hunt and whatnot. And I'm like, how cool would it be to get the husband and the wife on here talking?
I'm telling you, it'd be a good
Yeah,
one.
it'd be good.
It'd be a good
But
one.
regardless, I'm gonna
Yeah.
get your wife on here
Yeah,
for sure.
you
If
should.
she's willing, then I
I
got to seek
definitely
for
think
her.
she would do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. She's hunting probably the biggest hipple I've ever seen
Man, that's
right
awesome,
now. And she
dude.
almost killed him this last year.
No kidding.
But she had just froze. She had him at I think it was like
What
20,
happened? Why'd
20
she
yards.
freeze?
She just it happened so fast. I had her in the stand early, early September. It may have been like the 18th or 19th. So it was like the first solid hunt, and I knew this deer was in this area. Well, she did too. I mean, it's her cameras.
She educated
She's
you.
gonna tell me that it was her cameras, her idea. It was her property.
She educated him. Let's keep that in there.
Yeah. So she goes in by herself, and I have access to her cameras, obviously.
Okay, yeah.
And I'm in the tree as well, and I'm watching. It's just picture, and I know her stands right in front of it, and there's the big guy.
Oh my! Was
I'm
you
like-
dying inside watching this?
She has no signal on this property.
Oh no!
Oh, dude, I thought she killed him, and I'm just like,
You're ready to get
I mean,
down.
yeah,
You're
I
like,
was,
I gotta go help her drag this deer.
I'm telling you, this deer is giant, and she just froze. She just froze.
No kidding.
She's like, it happened so fast, I didn't even know if it was him. Hey, this is an amazing experience.
Yes.
The more big deer you get in front of you, the more comfortable you are. It's I couldn't be so proud.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of her.
And it's those little moments like that. And you've already said she killed him. I mean, she's killed a nice buck already.
She's killed the buck with a rifle.
But
Yep.
those little moments like that, every hunter goes through that stuff. It seems like
Oh, absolutely.
It leads up to that
Whether
grand
you're
finale.
12 or you're 30, everybody goes
Do
through
you still
it.
get that same feeling when you was 14 or 15 when you shot that little 4-point, do you get that same feeling now when you shoot? I mean, anything, when you shoot a doe, when you shoot whatever.
I will hit my knees.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah. Dude, I get so excited.
Oh, it's amazing, especially when you surround yourself around people like myself and the support group that I have.
Yes.
Is amazing.
Yeah.
You don't know a really good deer hunter without a very good support system.
Facts.
Absolutely. Or you're a really good deer hunter and you have nobody.
Right. And if you're married, your wife has a lot to do with your deer hunting.
Absolutely. I give her all
I'm
the credit.
lucky enough. My wife, she's such a blessing to me because, and I'm not saying it because she's in the other room and she's going to, when I edit
and
these podcasts,
I'm not saying this, by the way, that my wife is going to
times.
listen to this either. I promise. She's going to listen to it.
I'm
I
like,
promise you.
My wife's going to listen to this, so I'm going to say all the right things. No, but she's amazing. She's like, I need an appointment for this or whatever. Well, I'm a mailman, so my days off rotate every week. I may be off Monday this week. Next week I'll be off Tuesday. Next week I'll be off Wednesday. Da, da. So I love that because that gets me out in the woods on a Monday or Tuesday when nobody else, or not nobody else, but it's not like a Saturday or Sunday when the woods are full of people. So I absolutely love it. And she'll be like, I'm going to make an appointment, but it's hunting season.
Yes.
And I'm like,
I had a June wedding.
You're amazing.
I had a June wedding. You know why? It's a complete off season.
That's right. That's right.
And she was okay with it.
Yes. Yeah. I hear people though, they'll talk. I've heard other podcasts where they talk about if you want to hunt come September or November or whatever, then you need to be doing this now. And I mean, all that stuff's great. You know what I mean? You should be doing stuff for your wife all year round, regardless. But I don't do stuff so I can hunt.
No.
My wife knows I'm going to hunt.
Yep.
I mean, it's just the way it is. So
if anything, she's encouraged me to hunt more.
Exactly.
Like, she knows I love it, and she knows I'm going to be thrilled if I go, and she knows I'm going to be upset if I don't wake up.
Yeah, she's probably going to be, my wife's probably like, please go, because if he don't, he's going to be a bear.
I have not hit that stage.
She's probably like, no, that's why I want him to go, because I don't want to deal with this crap.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, I mean, I think a support system, like you said, is amazing, and especially if you're married, you got to have your wife has to support what you're doing 100%, or there's no way you can be so involved like you are or I am. You know what I mean? It ain't going to work. So.
Yeah, and I'm sure this topic comes up a lot because of how important it is. To have that support system and to make it to church every once in a while during deer season.
Yeah, that's I love going to church. I have a great church. I love going to church. Deer season.
Yeah, I'm guilty of it.
But I've had a buddy be like, "Hey, missed you at church this morning" or whatever, and I'll be like, I had a better talk with God in that tree than I would have in that church. I'm just saying.
You'd be like, oh, don't worry about it. I'll watch it online.
That's right. I do that too.
Yeah.
Well, man. Well, let's talk about your 25 deer season. I know you killed, what'd you kill, 3 bucks?
I killed 3 bucks.
So, and one of them I know for sure was a hammer of a buck.
So the one you're talking about, if you're talking about Mega, I killed that one in 24.
Okay, 24.
Okay, and I killed a management deer. I killed a deer on one of my home farms, and then I killed a deer on public land with a muzzleloader.
And this was 25.
This is all 25.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely want to talk about that 24.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you want to dive into 25, we can get into 25.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about.
We got to talk about it.
Yeah.
I seen that one at the Show Me Whitetails.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's a monster.
Yeah, he's incredible.
Yeah.
And he's everything that you could ever dream of.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, he was a typical the year before. And he
How long had you been following him, or how long did you know he was there?
He was such a big deer. I wasn't sure. I actually have the teeth to send in this week, so I'll have confirmation.
See if how old he is and whatnot.
Yeah, it's some kind of deer age company that I ran into at the expo.
Somebody Tyler Cooper, I think's his name. He was on. And he's doing the same thing. He's sending teeth in.
Yep. So I'm going to have confirmation on that. But I do believe he was 7.5 years old.
Dang.
Yeah. He was like no other deer that I've ever seen, encountered, or hunted. He walked and acted like no other deer that I've ever seen. the first time I had ever seen him. It was actually the 24 season.
That's the first time you've seen him?
Yeah, it's the first time I seen him. He lived in a very thin tree line that I just happened to run across, and somewhere where nobody would ever hunt. And I've come to realize and really hone in on spots like this, just specifically because of this deer.
Yeah.
He was just amazing. How he worked this area. It was a very thin tree line with CRP that butted up against it. You know, I like CRP.
Yeah.
I like them forbs or the foliage
Yeah.
of the weeds, and he lived in that early on in the mornings. And he would come into the woodlot every single day around 10, 11 o'clock. And this is obviously the 24 season that I was hunting him. I had the encounter with him the first time. And the very first moment I seen him, his head was straight back in the trees. And he was trying to get through the thick brush. And I heard it, and I thought it was a squirrel at first, and I'm like, yeah, that is no squirrel. You can hear the clinking.
Yeah.
And I look over, and there he was right on cue at 10 o'clock. It was either 10 or 11 o'clock.
How far was he at this point?
At that point, he was 80 yards.
Okay.
And he was closing.
Yeah.
Very slowly. So he was really taking his
Taking
time,
his
and it
sweet
was
time.
killing me. He was on my offside when he was coming in.
Wait, when
and
you say you haven't seen another deer move like him, or was
I-
it
I
more like a
have-
dominant presence,
I have
or was
trail
it?
camera videos of this deer when his head was always down, his ears were always back, and it was just like eerie looking. And he would only move his eyes, and you could see the whites of his eyes. I'll show you some of the videos,
Yeah.
and it is just, I got chills, man. Look at my
Yeah.
hair sticking up on
Yeah,
top of
for
my arm.
sure, dude.
Dude,
Yeah.
it is incredible. You could hear a motorcycle in the background, and he pauses for like literally. I have multiple videos in a row. He just pauses and just looks and just pays attention, and he's just so about his area, and he just knew anything that was going on.
Yeah.
Every time when he would move into his middle of the day bed, I would get 3 pictures of him. He'd come in, and I would get 3 pictures of him sniffing the ground around the area, just secure. We're good. All right. And then he'd go bed, and then he'd come out, and he would always go back north. And, I was putting everything together. I hung this camera, assuming that he lived in this spot. And this tree line is no wider than 100 yards. And it gets narrow, it gets wider, and then narrow again. And it goes to another little small area that had a water hole. And that is where I got my very first picture of him in 23. And that's when I really started putting things together. So, I mean, I got quite a bit of history with him. I guess I should back up to whenever I first found out about him. A buddy of mine showed me a picture. He's like, man, have you ever seen this deer? And he hunts pretty close. And I looked at it, I was like, oh my goodness. I kept my emotions back a little bit. And I'm
Had you seen him?
as I seen this deer that he showed me, it was the very first time I ever seen this deer. And I'm like, what is that?
Yeah.
At like 3 or 4 years old. And he just he was big.
Massive.
So it was that very next season, early season, I was hunting a property close to there next to a highway. And I go to walk in, and I'm a big shed hunter, by the way. Now I go to walk in, and I see an antler, and I look at him like, oh my gosh, that's him. Half of his main beam broke off. He got hit by a car.
Oh.
So at that moment, that antler went in my dash, and I had an obsession with
Yeah.
this deer. I got to find
I bet
this
you
deer.
did.
So just so happened, we had a couple sporadic during the rut pictures. So that would have been 22 is whenever I picked up his antler. 23, I had sporadic pictures during the rut. And I'm like, I cannot figure this deer out. Like my bigger lot of timber, I'd have cameras all over it, and bigger lot of timber, I have cameras. I'd have one picture here, one picture here, and never have him again. I'm like, I just can't figure it out. I never thought to hunt the tree line along the railroad tracks. It's thin. You can see all the way through it.
Yeah.
You would never believe that a over 200-inch deer was living there.
No kidding.
So I just so happened, I'll tell you how I found the spot. I was just riding my side-by-side along that tree line. There was a little water hole. I mean, I bet you it was the size of this road right here. and there was deer tracks in it. And it looked like pretty good sized deer tracks. I'm gonna stick a camera on there. It was like the next day I had a picture of them.
No kidding.
Yeah, I was like, you have to be kidding me. No way. Here we go.
Yeah.
So that was 23 when I found that water hole, and I hunted that water hole pretty hard. And he did not like any other deer. So in that aspect of things, it made it a little bit easier to hunt, just because I never had to worry about too many other deer in the area. It was a tree line. They didn't.
Yeah.
There was hardly any deer in there.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, there was
no
nothing,
kind of cover.
There was
nothing.
nothing there.
Yeah.
It was just unbelievable.
He was the king of his domain.
Yeah, and when I did have deer move in, I wouldn't get a picture of them. It was like nothing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Bachelor group time by himself every
Really?
single time. All velvet. He never had any other deer with him. It was so interesting.
Yeah, that's
so when you're
wild.
watching fields and you're like, no big deer here. There's big deer there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's probably big
For
deer.
sure.
So
Oh yeah, as you're talking, my mind's spinning.
there's big deer in your
I'm
area.
thinking all these different places. I'm like, I haven't looked in this spot or
Yeah.
been there because I didn't think.
It's ever since then, I will never I'll never overlook that little spot.
Yeah.
As I said, I'd knock on very small parcels, even if they have a tree line. I'm knocking on their door. Nobody's ever asked them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I love the question when I knock on a door. It's like, anybody ever asked you before? No, never had them. It's like, yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, good.
So what do you think your success rate is when knocking on doors?
It's low.
I say that's my journey.
It's a tough road, man. I've had the cops call on me. I've had it all.
Man, I ran into this property just real quick. Sorry, I know.
Yeah, you're good.
But I ran into this property and I see deer on it and I see turkey on it. I mean daily.
So does everybody else.
Yes. But finally I thought I'm gonna go up. I'm gonna knock on the door and see if I can get permission. And so I go up. It's an older lady. Her son lives there. There's like it looked like a two or three little houses right there. And her son lived back there, and he was probably around mid-40s or whatever. But I got to talking to her, and she was like, no, sir, I don't let nobody hunt out here, And I'm like, oh, I understand. I just wanted to stop by and take my chances just in
I always
case.
say shot in the dark. That's what I always
She
say.
started talking about being a postal worker when she was younger.
You were like,
Oh, yeah. I was like, here we go. I was like, well, matter of fact, I'm a mailman. She's like, what? And here we go. Dude, I was like 3 hours. I had my youngest son with me. We're like 3 hours because she's just talking and talking. I'm like, whatever, we're going to entertain her. You know what I mean? I'd like to get permission. And so by the end of it, she goes, well, leave me your name and number.
I've had that.
And I
yeah.
said, but why am I leaving? You told me I couldn't hunt. Is there a chance that I may be able to hunt this? And she goes, yeah, there's a chance. And I was like, awesome. I'll leave my name and number. Never heard from her.
She might have lost your number. You need to go talk.
No, I was like,
you need to go knock on her door.
I've said
again.
that before. I'm like,
You
I need to
go.
go back and knock on her door.
I would lay in bed at night thinking about
Dude,
that property.
I've thought about offering her money. I've thought, you know what I mean? Because I'm
No,
like,
that's
this
intimidating.
property.
That's intimidating.
I'm like, this property's so prime. And she loves, and then she told me, she goes, I love watching the deer and the turkey come up on the property. And I'm like, I do too. I sit out on the road and watch them come up on your property.
So the key to that, I'm not saying it's what to do, but I have found shed season is my door knocking time. Like that is green light, knock on doors.
Now,
Hey,
when you're
do you-
knocking, go ahead.
Do you mind if I just look for antlers? All I'm doing, I collect antlers. I just walk around and look for antlers. Hey, if you're just walking just for the day, that's fine. Like, hi, I'll let you know when I come. I'll let you know when I go. Very respectful, just to the point. Like, I promise, where do you want me to park? Like the whole thing. Next thing you know, they're like, I'll be all right with it. I've got a lot that way with just shed hunting.
I got to remember that.
Yes, that shed season is key.
I actually do.
And I'm such a, I don't know. I hate giving away everything.
Don't give it away on camera. You can write it down for me.
Oh man, I've been so reserved with a lot of information just because of the people around me.
Yeah, and I get that 100%.
Yeah, which,
because
you know,
got to protect some of your tips and tricks. You have to
I
protect,
have not set a
or
town.
everybody else is going to do
I have
it.
not set a town, and I'm going to let you know.
Yeah.
I take care of my landowners, and they ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, facts.
I gave one guy a tool set just not that long ago. Boy, he was thrilled.
I bet.
Yeah.
That's one thing. My oldest son, for anybody watching, he owns his own electric company.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, hey, we got camo to trade. We have, which most people, if you're trying to hunt on their land and if you're trying to trade camo, it
They're
don't
probably
really
a
make
hunter.
sense.
Yeah.
I'll take your camo, but you're not hunting.
Mm-hmm.
But he owns his electric company, so he'll be like, I can do electrical work and whatever. And he's actually gotten us properties. One guy's building a house, and he's going to do the electrical work in the house. And so he's got us permission to hunt on this guy's property for the next couple of years anyway.
That is fantastic.
So I'm like, we have good trade bait material, so
Yeah.
we'll work it out. But
that's like knocking on a guy's door with antlers.
yeah,
Like, this isn't going to go well.
yeah,
If this guy
never mind.
And if this guy absolutely entertains the thought of having camo,
He's got a wreath of antlers on his door, and you're like,
as I'm knocking on the center of, I'm like, this is.
do you need new camo? I got you.
Man,
Yeah.
next thing you know, they're talking to you for 5 hours,
Yeah.
and they say no. And I'm like, oh my
They're-
gosh.
leave your number in the
could've-
mailbox.
Yeah, I've had that happen twice. Same
Man.
person. I've actually went back and I knocked on their door again. It was such a great conversation, though. You know, I'm like, yeah, I'll just go talk to him again.
Yeah.
They
Well-
got my number a second time. Never called me.
It's funny because the lady that I'm talking about, and I said that I've got a new property that I can hunt. It's right next door.
Oh man, if you get both,
So if I can get both,
yeah,
that's amazing. And I have another property that I hunt. That the property on the south side of it is it's prime property. It's actually better than where I'm hunting. If I can,
I wonder
get
if I've
over
knocked
there.
on it.
Maybe, but
I've knocked on a lot of doors.
I'm like, I keep talking to her. She has somebody that hunts out there.
Hmm.
They mow the place and whatnot. And so I'm like, I'm her mailman. So I'm always like, oh, I'm super nice to her. Her packages go to the door. You know what I mean? I take care of my people.
Are you like the waitress and writes on the mail and like, please have a nice day.
Hey, I
Have
will
a
do
blessed
that. I've
day.
done that.
Do
Have
a
a
smiley
great day.
face.
I'll do it. I don't care.
You're like the
And-
waitress,
yeah.
trying to get a bigger tip.
Every year I'm like, so any chance? And she goes, well, he was, I guess the guy, there was two people or something, and one of them was not going to be hunting out there no more. So there's an opening. And she's like, well, you probably don't want to mow. And I'm like, I'll mow. I'll do whatever I need to mow, whatever I need to do. Because especially I'm thinking, if I can get permission here and I've got permission here, that just opens up a whole new level for me out here.
Mm-hmm.
But I keep getting shot down at the end of the day. She'll be like, well, I'll talk to him and see. And I don't even know who him is, but he ain't let me come on yet. But I'm going to keep working, man.
It must be pretty good.
It's pretty good.
I asked an old man one time if I could hunt, and he's like, you be willing to, you work? I'm like, yeah, I work. You know, I run a farm. And he's like, I got a project I need to get done, and I'll think about it.
You're
So
like,
I'm like,
no.
So I follow this guy over to this property, and he's got this old, rugged, fallen down barn, and he wants the whole thing retinned.
Retinned?
Yes.
Oh, no.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
And I got my buddy James Munns with me. Little shout out because he's gonna remember this moment.
Yeah.
And we're both like, no, he's
No
got
way.
some good property too. And I was just like, no. And I'll give anybody his address if you want to go tend that barn.
That's a lot.
Because that barn is not tend.
Yeah. It's still not 10.
I got his number. I never called that guy.
You're like, nope. Too much.
Yeah. So there's an extent of
Yeah.
my time that I'm willing to give. So I
Yeah.
guess so.
That's funny. But back to your buck.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, we get
No,
we get
you're good.
distracted
No,
there,
it's a
you
great
know.
conversation,
Yeah,
and
for sure.
there's so many stories that goes along with
Yeah.
all these years. But anyhow, I don't remember where I was at with that, but
I think we was
I
at
had
the watering hole.
Yeah, the watering hole, and that's where I got majority of the pictures. So 24 is when I got a bunch of pictures of him on this watering hole, and I knew this watering hole was the only thing that held this deer in this small strip of timber. And I would so much as I'd be watching the camera and I can see that water. It gets
Dropping.
pretty dry in
Yeah.
September. And I'd take a water tank and I'd put it in the back of my truck and I'd fill it up. And I'd back my truck all the way up to that water hole, and I'd climb over the cab of my truck, and I'd climb over and I'd open it up, and I would dump water in this water hole to keep this deer. I would never touch the ground. He's like, thank you, God. Yeah. I don't know where this came from.
I don't know what happened, but it just keeps filling up.
I would not touch the ground.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's smart.
Yeah, and luckily, you know, the situation, you know, played out the way it did with being able to get to there. But anyhow, so I knew I needed more keys to this puzzle. So I had thought through. Obviously, we're dealing with a pretty big deer. At that point, he was probably 180, 190. And obviously, I got a camera on the water hole the next season.
Yes.
Really early. I think I was placing cameras in June, trying to get ready. I knew the deer, if I bumped him that early, I was probably good. Yeah. So I'm like, I got to dissect this area. Where he's coming from, he always come from a certain area. And there was nothing there. Like I said before, there was just a small little bump out along these railroad tracks. And so I just went diving into it. And I found the Mecca. I knew when I got in there, I'm like, this is homey. This is where it was, just like in this bowl. There's big railroad tracks, and then you couldn't see nothing. And I'm like, this is a shot in the dark, man. I don't know. It could or could not go. So I placed a camera there anyways, and I bet you it wasn't a month. I did not have a picture of a deer, maybe a raccoon here and there. That was it. Like,
yeah.
I didn't figure it out. You know, he's not back. And next thing you know, I had a picture of him. That was 25 season, and it was almost every single day at 10 to 11 o'clock. He'd move in there.
24 season?
This is my... So whenever I found that spot, it was the 24 season. Okay. Yeah, of when I killed him.
Yeah.
And he was there every single day between 10 and 11 o'clock. And it would depend and adjust on how hot it would get. So the hotter it would get, the earlier he would come into this area, because he was bedded out in the CRP, which I didn't know at this moment. He was bedded out in the CRP field. It would get hot. He'd move on into the timber. Well, him out in the CRP field, if anything's in that timber, he's got everything to his advantage. He can see everything. He can smell everything. You know, he was always weary. And anyways, I hunted right at that camera where there was no more timber. Where I would get a picture of him coming in, and to bed, there was no more timber. So I'm like sitting right there. Like, he's going to bed like right underneath me if he comes in here. And that's what I was waiting for. I would go in that 24 season. I don't know if I hunted him. I hunted him opening day on the water hole, because he was coming in there pretty consistently. And I had a picture of him at like, I think it gets dark at 7:30 beginning of the season. I had a picture of him at like 6 o'clock heading my way. And I'm like, if this is now,
here we go.
Here we go. And I'm just sitting there waiting. He never made it to me. So I'm at that point, you know, I was constantly dealt with battles with how thin this tree line was. Yeah. Whether there's deer there or not, you know, it's just him that I'm dealing with. If I bump this one deer, it's game over. Yeah. So like, just like that first day, what do you do? Like, I know he's on his way to me. How close is he? Do I sit here all night? Like, I've thought about camping out.
Yeah, for sure.
Because then you're running the risk. Right here, he's here every single day.
Yeah. And when you're getting down, you're running the risk of bumping him then, or he could be 100 yards out but see you.
My access was good, but if he was coming in, like, it was bad getting out. But it was constantly a risk with this deer every single time, and I'd be stressed out so bad I wouldn't sleep the night before.
Yeah. Isn't it so?
Oh man, chills.
Golly.
So
we have a problem.
Yeah. my bank account says I got a problem too. But man, I was going in to hunt his core bedding area. I was getting in at 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning, because I knew he was coming in the CRP field, but he was ready for whatever. I didn't know what time he was getting to the CRP field, but I knew I was far enough away that I was good.
As long as
the
you
first
got up
day I went
there.
in there, it was a torrential downpour at 2:30.
September 23rd, 3:17 in the morning.
I get
Raining pretty good.
And I'm going off of the first day I hunted this, like where the money spot is, where I'm like, I'm gonna kill this deer today. When I hung the camera, I always pay attention to the trees around me, and I picked out a tree, and I was going off of that memory that night before, and just trying to pick. I'm like, where do I go? What do I do? I need to be there.
Yeah.
And I remember this one tree, and I have to find that tree at 3:00 in the morning. So that's also another reason why I went in so early, is so that I could find this tree, so I can make a ruckus with knowing that he potentially not close, could be, but potentially not be close. I find that tree, and the very first day I was sitting in there, it's starting to get light, and I took a nap a few times, waiting for it to get light as it's downpouring. Every time I'd lean back, my boots would dump out with water. That's how much rain was coming down. And I'm like, this is now or never. This is going to happen.
Those are the moments we live for.
Yeah. Freezing my butt off. I sat a total of 14 hours that first day in that tree saddle. My butt was done.
Do you hunt in a saddle?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
That saddle was, I think, the workhorse.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that was made by Tethered. Yep. Yep. So,
well, then you definitely need some broadside camo. It's waterproof, and it works with your saddle. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Absolutely.
Though. Yeah,
but yeah, that day I never seen him. That the first 3:00 morning sit, 14 hours, I never seen him. And he was there every single day, and I don't know why he was not there that day. And I'm like, I ruined it.
Right, I know that's what you were thinking too. Yep. Do you do a lot of dark to dark sits, or?
It's a lot.
I do a lot of dark to dark.
I don't. I am guilty of not doing that much as I should, but I've been prepared for it and then killed. How about that?
Yeah, there you go.
Just this last season, I killed that muzzleloader buck on public land.
That's the best way to do it.
I was going to sit all day, and I ended up killing on the way in. But I packed everything. Usually I'm not a backpack guy, but I was that day. I'm like, I am ready for anything.
Yes.
But anyways, back to that deer. I hunted in that spot another 2 times, and I think the second time is when I had that encounter with him, and he came into 20 yards, and he was coming through the honeysuckle, and his head was all the way down to the ground, and he was just, every step was so precise, you could tell, and he didn't make a sound. From the moment that he walked in, I feel like he knew something was up, and where I'm at, these trains are going by constantly, and this is another thing that goes through my head is when these trains come by and he's bedded right next to him, what does the wind do? As a car comes by, you feel the wind swirl.
Yeah.
These trains would not stop as he's coming in.
So that wind was just swirling.
It's swirling.
Yeah, for sure.
And I knew that was one of
I never even thought about it as we were talking.
It's one of the things I had to think about with this wild, just unique animal. It was incredible. I swear.
How smart is
I swear
that?
he thought about it.
Good.
I swear
he had to have.
Yeah, and he knew something was up, and he came all the way into 20 yards, and I'm twisted up on my offside, and I draw at 20 yards, and he's facing me, and I'm like, he's gonna turn. He always goes this way. I get pictures of him every single day.
Is he looking at you, or is he just facing your direction?
Me, and I'm drawing on him, and I'm like, this is it, and he's facing me. He backs straight up. And then he backs straight up, and he goes to turn away, and there was only this smidge of a second. I'm like, I am not risking all this time and all this effort and on this unique animal. And I go to let down, and I'm still twisted up, and I go to readjust, and my stick slips.
Oh, no.
It literally, and I was running a cheaper Hawk stick at the time, and with a little platform.
Yeah.
I love simplicity. Well, as my stick slips, I start barking like a squirrel just because out of panic. Yeah, I mean, you have a 200-some-inch deer in front of you.
Yeah.
Well,
and you just made a mistake.
You don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So I started.
Facts.
It's a squirrel, I promise. I never see the deer leave. I never see him run. He was 20 yards, and it's just so thick. He disappeared.
Just disappeared.
So I sat there for 2 hours. I called my buddy James up. He works with me just right down the road. He brings a welder with a trailer and he starts the welder and he brings the welder all the way up to my tree. And I jump out of the tree, jump in the side by side so that he thinks it was just a worker. Just trying to be discreet. I'm like, you have to come straight to my tree, start the welder, come to me. Okay.
Because they're used to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would be welding on fence literally 100 yards from this deer, and I was getting pictures of him looking at me.
No kidding.
Oh, yeah. It was the weariest thing to have that caliber deer staring at me, knowing that he's staring at me, him thinking that I'm not looking at him.
That's amazing.
It was incredible.
That's so cool that you've had so many encounters with him, though. You know what I mean? Like
2 in-person encounters. Yeah.
But knowing, just like you were saying, that when you're out there welding and whatever, even if you don't see him or whatever, there's probably a pretty good chance he's seeing you.
He is right there. I had pictures of him looking at me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
100%.
How crazy is that to have all those encounters? And,
you just want to pause. As a deer hunter, you're like, the deer looking at me.
Yeah. Don't
but
move.
we have to
close your eyes.
Within 100 yards from this deer, we were welding fence, and it was I planted switchgrass along my fence line so that nobody can see in, and it's just a big open field.
Yeah.
It was specifically so nobody can see into this CRP field. But we were welding along the fence, and we have a chop saw. We built a bunch of pipe fence on the farm, and I never got into what I do for a living, but
now we know.
I built a lot of pipe fence on this farm, and we had to leave for 2 seconds, and the field catches on fire, and right next to this deer. Right next to it.
No.
And our trailer catches on fire. The truck catches on fire. The firemen come. They have to put it all out, and it was a disaster. Almost caught the whole place. It was pretty bad.
And the worst part of it, you're thinking, did I just push that deer out?
Well, a buddy of mine that is a fireman, obviously I didn't tell anybody about this deer at the time. And he's like, hey, you got any good ones back in here? Nope. Nope. I'm hunting does this year.
But scrubs.
That's what I always say.
Yeah. Guaranteed. Yeah. And they know he's full of crap.
And I never told him, but little did he know that deer was within 100 yards of us.
Yeah. Dude, that's awesome.
It was pretty unique situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I started putting puzzle pieces together, and I had I think it was 9 properties total that I'd all season, obviously, prior to this, I'd knocked on as many doors as I could. Anything that was available, anything there was an opportunity, I had already knocked on the door. And I knew that all my bases were covered, and I had cameras on every single property. I will say the cameras killed this deer for sure, but I knew when he left the area, it was October 24th when I finally sealed the deal on this deer. So it was right before rut. Mm-hmm. And I call it, he left home. So he left home. I had a picture of him over on here, this property, and I'm like, he's gone right now. I need to get in there right now and adjust my approach. So I'm like, okay, the only way I can get in on this place is off the railroad tracks. When he goes south, he always goes north. And it's just thin tree line. It should be simple, right?
Yeah.
So
should be.
Yeah. Well, I'm like, I got to get out of the saddle. I got to have something permanent set. So I went in down the railroad tracks, and where it got the thinnest in this timberline, I'm like, this is it. And there was the perfect tree. It was glowing because there was a little creek that ran right along the railroad tracks and then dipped right in and right at that tree. I'm like, this is it. Mm-hmm. And I'm clearing sticks away from, all this so that I can sneak down this little creek bed and then hop in this tree. And I put a camera right there at that thinnest part of that tree line. And I think it was 3 days later, I had a picture of him going south. And I think it was somewhere around 8, 9 o'clock. And I work a really unique job, and I'm able to, do as I please. Kind of, I have a lot of flexibility. Yeah. And I was like, I got to go. It's my dad's birthday.
Oh, no.
And he has a birthday party that night. I'm calling the family. It's like, I'm sorry. This is going to happen tonight. Yeah. Like, I set this stand for this situation, for this moment. And he's doing exactly what I planned on him doing. And this is going to happen.
I got to go.
Yep. And they're like, all right, all right, being my support system.
Sorry, Dad.
Oh man, little did he know.
Yeah, right.
So I get in the tree at noon, and you don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know if he's gonna wander around in the middle of the day. He kind of does every once in a while.
Yeah.
I've had more daylight pictures than nighttime pictures of this deer just because I'm in his home.
So you
in
got
his
you got
bedroom
you got to be ready like
at all times.
at all times. Yeah.
As
Because you don't know.
as this played out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So whenever I got to my tree, I didn't think about a pull-up rope because I have a retractile on the back of my saddle.
Yeah.
I don't tree stand hunt hardly. And so whenever I get to the tree, I'm like, oh crap, I don't have a pull-up rope.
Oh no.
And I'm talking my access in there. It was 20 to 25 miles an hour winds that day, which really helped me out a ton. It's also another key element to killing this deer. But I sneak in and I get to the tree and everything is just perfect. I couldn't have written it out any better. I parked my side by side way down, probably 200 yards, and I walked the tracks all the way down, and I jumped off the tracks into this ditch, and I get to the base of my tree, and I realize I don't have my pull-up rope. Climbing a tree, and I got screw-in pegs, and
with a bow in your hand.
yeah, and I'm trying to. I always try to like do as least amount of steps as I can.
Right. So you're stretching it a
I got
little
my
bit.
bow over my shoulder climbing this tree, and I ended up setting my bow up there, and I get in, and I'm like, oh, gosh dang, I got one hook. I like to take my quiver off.
Yeah.
And
You only got one hook.
One hook, and I put my quiver on. Just I'm always the one to double check everything.
Yeah.
And I put my quiver on, and I put my bow on, and I'm knocked up. I got my release. Check. We're good. All right, how long is this going to take? I don't know. And
I guarantee you definitely did that side because you just climbed that tree with that bow on your shoulder, and that's not easy.
I did not make a peep, and I felt really, really good about it.
Yes,
so good that 3 o'clock rolls around, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm a scroller. I sit on my phone. I'm just like, I shouldn't be with this caliber deer around me, and I hear one twig snap, and I look up right in front of me at 40 yards. He stands up.
Oh,
out of a bed.
Really?
He is right in front of me. And I don't know what it is or what happened in the moment, but he seemed like he was weary or in a hurry.
Now, was he there when you climbed that tree
Yes.
then? Yeah.
So, because I've looked at it afterwards, and there was nowhere else he could have came from.
Yeah.
He was 40 yards, if that, from my tree when I climbed in. And he was there for 3 hours.
Wow.
All I had to do was like squint my eyes and hone in, and he was right there.
Jiminy Christmas,
So
man. How
you just
crazy is
never
that?
know. You never know.
Yeah.
So as he's standing, and I can tell things are on edge. So I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh gosh, he's kind of looking around a little bit, and he's just kind of like at a fast trot, and he's coming to me, and I'm trying to grab my bow, and I grab my bow and my quiver. So it clinks once. And as I'm holding my bow, I'm looking at him through my platform of my tree. Like that's how close he is. He was right underneath of me. And looking at this rack and this deer is just like nothing I've ever seen. I mean, everybody says if I ever had that deer in front of me, everybody says it, and I did, and I freaked.
Yeah, I bet you did.
Yeah, I did everything but poop my pants.
Yeah.
So he makes it by me, and as he's kind of at a fast trot, he gets it like 10, 15 yards, and I get him to stop. And it's straight away. I'm facing my good side at least, and he's facing almost straight away. And he looks back and looks up at me. So, you just picture you want that quartering away shot just for like you hit everything.
Yeah.
But I know that I'm a little close, so the straight up and down angle is not going to be ideal. And I knew that I didn't want to hit him straight in the spine, so I aimed just off the spine, and it was the left side of the spine. And as I went to shoot, he went to take off. And I shot, and it hit him right in front of the back hip. And it was almost, you picture a belly button on a deer. It's kind of where it came out.
Yeah.
So it was not ideal. It was a terrible situation. Honestly, I practice Paul Foster, he set my bow up, and I practiced more than I've ever practiced in my life.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're hunting this caliber of deer, you're going to do everything you can do.
Facts.
And I shot and I shot and I shot more than I've ever shot in my life. I was hitting bottle caps at 40.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
I felt good. He built me release.
What bow are you shooting?
I shoot a Matthews Phase 4.
Okay.
Oh, funny story.
Here we go. Hang on.
I did shoot a Matthews Halon.
Okay.
The 23 season I was hunting them. I was checking the watering hole to see if it was empty, and I had my bow with me, and my bow fell out of my side-by-side.
Oh.
Yeah, and I ran up on something, and I'm like, what the heck was that? And I put it in full drive, and I went over it, and I heard all the crunch of
And it
my
was your
arrows.
bow?
It was my bow.
Oh,
So,
my goodness.
This is a story I don't tell a whole lot of people.
Well, you're telling a whole lot.
Yeah. I get out to look at my bow, and I hear Mega, the deer, jump up out of his bed. And
Oh,
run,
my goodness.
all in the same moment. That was the 20.
You deserve that bow
23.
more than anybody I know.
Yeah, it was absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
It was chaotic. I ended up buying the Phase 4, and that's what I was shooting. And
Got you.
yeah, so Paul Foster, he built me a release, and he helped me tune my bow, and it was shooting like like a dream.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
And that's 90% of the battles.
Yeah.
Your confidence in
I was-
your equipment.
I was up here, man.
Yeah.
I was up here, and I felt really good. And when I released that arrow, it felt great, but he just jolted, and it was just a terrible situation. But I thought I had enough angle that I was gonna hit some liver, but I bet you I was that close to liver.
Yeah.
And I ended up hitting nothing but intestines. So it was a lethal hit, but it was gonna be a long road.
It was just a long road.
I knew right then. He actually, when he ran out to 100 yards and just stood there, and he hunched up like he was gut hit, and so I was actually already on the phone with my wife by the time he made it around to 100 yards. I was like, oh my gosh, I got a second opportunity. Hold on. And I stuck my phone in my bino harness, and I draw back, and I shot 100
This is
yards.
at 100 yards.
At 100 yards, and I hit one little tree limb on the way out. And he actually jumps, and I'm like, I don't know whether I hit him or not.
Yeah.
Everything's moving so fast. It's like on a motorcycle going 150 miles an hour.
Yeah.
It was so quick. I think by the time he was out of sight, I was already on the phone with the drone guy. I knew this situation. I actually told the game warden even prior to killing this deer, hey, I'm hunting a world-class animal. Like, this is going to go down. There's a lot of things that are weird. Like, there's people surrounding me. It's going to get weird. I promise you. And he's okay. And I'm like, I'm hunting here. And I can show you the text message, the time and everything. I texted the game warden as soon as I shot that deer.
Yeah.
And, gave me the thumbs up, whatever, he has no idea what's about to happen.
Yeah.
This is actually a story that, I steer away from sharing with obviously the public, because not a lot of people know about it. It's just because of, the severity. This whole ordeal went on for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up, getting rid of the first drone guy. I brought in a very professional drone guy, Airhound Services, with Lane Bailey. He's one of the best deer hunters around. He's a big deer killer.
Gotcha.
And I know he has a mad respect for animals, like myself. So, this deer runs out into the CRP field, and granted, I'm not going to name any names, but I'm battling with a neighbor.
Yeah.
Was my best friend at the time, and come to find out he was hunting the deer. That moment, I found out that he was hunting the deer. He was giving a different name to the property owners adjacent to me. I was sharing trail camera pictures with the guy.
Oh my goodness.
As soon as I said I shot the deer, he was straight anger. It was pretty disgusting.
Yeah.
It was pretty awful. A deer like this will show some true colors, and
Isn't that sad, man?
yeah,
That's just
as soon as I shot the deer, he said, I guess I'll send you all the pictures I have of him. I could not believe it. But
Yeah.
he was probably my top 5.
yeah.
I was planning on him being at my wedding and everything.
Yeah,
And
dude.
So I had a lot of emotions going.
Yeah.
Coming to find out my best friend's hunting my deer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, dang, man.
Yes. And it gets wild. It gets
Yeah.
really wild because, everybody meets up on the side of the road next to where I shot this deer, and I'm still in the tree, and I can see the drone flying over. And
So you stayed in the tree.
I stayed in the tree for a long time, and I'm far enough away that I'm not affecting anything, but he could get up and come my way or some situation. But at that point, as soon as the drone flies up, you're not allowed to hunt the deer.
Yeah.
So I'm like, there's nothing I can do.
Yeah.
So I go ahead and get down, and I walk the railroad tracks down, and there was a whole slew of people.
You like family, friends?
And some of my best of friends. And
Yeah.
if they weren't my best of friends, they were my friends now.
Yeah.
That showed up, and one of them was the guy that was my friend that showed up.
Oh, he was there. He showed up.
He showed up, and he was just talking crap on my fence that I told you I was building. He's talking crap on my shot, saying that somebody else should have shot him. He went on and on.
He was so
he was
mad.
just puking, just anger.
Yeah.
And I have this resemblance of a friend, and then I have the other people that are just like, man, you did it, dude.
Yeah.
You did it. And it was at that moment I got chills again, man.
Yeah.
It's just like you got to really choose.
Yeah.
My wife actually told me to drop this guy, and I'm like, nah, he's good. He's good. I should have trusted her.
You should have trusted her.
Yeah.
Now, wait a minute. She told you prior?
She told me prior.
What?
Yeah, she told me prior that I am crazy for sharing anything with this guy.
You told him.
So
I would have listened. He didn't listen.
it's wild. I'm telling this, man. It's because this is a roller coaster of a deal. Because I have a huge respect for these animals.
Yeah.
And it's less than ideal shot, but I have to follow the rules. I have to follow the law.
Well, and I will say that, I mean, we've talked about it. You've told me a little bit of the story or whatever previous, and I give you the utmost respect for following the rules and following the law, because there's a lot of people that wouldn't have. Mm-hmm. So kudos to you for that.
It wasn't just because I had a lot of people watching. I mean,
yeah.
I truly have the utmost respect and passion for everything I do every single year. This is all year for me.
Yeah.
If I lose this, I mean, I'm not going to say it's my life, but
right.
It's a big part
it's
of
everything you've worked
everything
for.
I am.
Yeah.
It's my title, Dakota Pool Deer Hunter.
Yeah.
So if I lose that, it's jeopardizing to me.
Yeah.
So I was texting the game on the whole time, day by day, everything that was going on. But I want to back up to, when I had good friends there and bad friends. The neighbor guy that I actually know comes over, and he looks at what was my buddy. I'll call him John. He looks at my buddy, and he doesn't say John. He says a different name. I'm like, what the heck? Well, John just goes completely red, blank, freaks out. That's not my name. My name's John. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, freaks out. Yeah, he told that landowner a different name, and it was sad, man.
Now, why would he do that? So
that I wouldn't sniff out
you would
that
never
he was
know.
hunting.
Got you.
So that I wouldn't sniff it out.
You would never catch wind.
I know that landowner.
Yeah.
I could have hunted that landowner.
Yeah.
But where I was hunting him, I knew I had the most odds, so I didn't approach that landowner and ask him for permission. I knew I could have hunted it, and he did too, and as to why he was. Well, come to find out, he was there parked every single day. And John. John.
What's his name?
Yeah, John.
He's got to quit switching names.
John is telling me when to hunt and when not to hunt.
Wow.
Yeah, because he's approaching. He's going in.
He's like, I wouldn't hunt this day.
Yeah,
the weather's crap. This is crap. But he's hunting.
All my other buddies that are for me are like, why isn't this deer killed?
Yeah.
Like, it's every day, like clockwork. Why isn't this deer killed? I'm like, man, I don't know what's going on. Like, but I have his voice in my ear saying, nah.
And he's a good friend of yours, and you respect him, and you're listening to him.
Top 5.
Yeah.
Top 5.
Dude.
And he kills big deer. So I had a respect for him for sure. And man, it was just a crazy deal. So I'll just go ahead and say that we move on with the night, and I knew.
So you know where the deer's at.
He was within 100. I keep saying 100 yards, but he's within 100 yards of this roadside, and I'm camping out. I ain't going nowhere. I'm talking like I'm on the edge of the road. If anybody passes this road, I'm like, license plate, who are you? What's up? You know,
Yeah.
I know everything that's going on right now because this is on the line, and I knew it was.
Now, are you waiting for the deer to move?
So my drone guy was there. I ended up getting rid of the first drone guy, and I brought in a professional. And I knew at this moment, like, things could go south.
Yeah.
So I brought in a professional drone guy, and they actually had 2 drones on them. And I don't know whether he's going to die in the first 15 hours, 20 hours, 30 hours. I have no idea. But it gets late that first night. And they're like, he ain't going nowhere. Like, his head is in the grass. We're going to come back, and he's going to be dead. Yeah. We keep telling ourselves that. I sit in a lawn chair that whole night, and my wife stays for majority of the night and my dad, and I was obviously
Sorry about your birthday party, Dad.
my dad spent his evening on his birthday,
Just chilling with you.
I want to say it was his 60th. So it was even a special birthday.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to be able to hold the big buck with him, take a picture on his birthday, and it drags on. So my drone guy leaves that first night, and I'm sitting there at 4 o'clock in the morning by myself. And my buddy actually rolls up at like 4:30 in the morning. He's heading to work. He was just there that night before, and he's heading to work. And I'm sitting there talking to him, and I'm like, hold up. As I'm sitting there talking to him, I hear something. And I'm like, listening? I'm like, it sounds like a drone, don't it? That sounds odd. And I'm looking around, and there's a drone 50 yards above my deer's head with beaming lights on top of him. I'm like, no freaking way.
Is it John or Gus or whatever his name is?
It's John.
John? No way.
I'll even call him Big John.
Big John. You put him Big John.
Big John.
Wow.
Big John.
He's got a drone on him?
He's got a drone, and it is spotlighting where this deer was laying. And I'm like, I know he's hovering over him.
Yeah.
So I called my guy. I'm like, dude, you ain't gonna believe what they're doing. Well, they were preparing to pursue the deer that was lethally wounded. My deer that was lethally wounded. Obviously, he had permission on the other side of the railroad tracks, and my drone guy gets there and sees him coming in and walking into his tree stand. So I just couldn't believe it. Just disbelief that he was even just willing
dude.
to
Who would
shoot.
even think like
Because
that?
if this deer would have got up being lethally wounded and he stuck another arrow in him, it's his deer.
Yeah.
So, and he knew that.
But that's just some sorry.
He was willing to do it.
Yeah.
He really was. And, I knew at that point that he was willing to do anything
Yeah.
for this deer.
Yeah.
Didn't care who it was, who he's going to wreck or whatever.
Yeah.
So he hunts a deer, and the deer never moves for I'll just say it 3 days. Never moves, and my drone guy was there endless hours and hours and hours.
So for 3 days you're
3
sitting
days,
there.
yes. My wife's bringing me baby wipes at this moment. I
clean
never
up.
went home.
Wow.
I'm brushing my teeth.
Well, heck, at this point you can't leave.
Oh yeah, I'm invested.
Big John's gonna be there.
My eyes are this.
He's watching you.
He's watching every step.
Yeah, if you leave, he's gonna be on that thing.
They have their drones, they have their guys
Yeah.
and their resources.
Dang.
It was wild.
Yep.
So, I mean, what do? You shot the deer. I'm doing everything I can do in my power to close this deal on this whitetail. And so 3 days goes by and the wind shifts and it starts coming out of the north, and there's some houses along this road and some dogs that are never chained up. Well, one of these dogs catches wind of this deer and knows that it's badly hurt.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there brushing my teeth with my wife on the railroad tracks, and I look down the railroad tracks, and there's my deer just standing there looking at me.
Oh my goodness.
No way, my drone guy just left. Now, granted, this my drone guy has a newborn baby at home.
Yeah.
He's done been there for 3 days, hardly seen his wife. So things are getting hot on his end.
Yeah.
Things are getting hot on my end. Like, when am I going to see you?
Yeah.
She's happened to come on the roadside to come see me. And
Did she bring you lunch and whatnot?
oh, she was bringing me everything. I was starting to
You
stink.
could just have a picnic right there.
I had many a picnics.
That's right.
I bought ribs for the guys.
Oh, yeah, dude.
It was every single day, people sitting there with me the whole time. And we were just like, how long is this going to go on? So the deer crosses the railroad tracks, and there's this big white dog right behind him.
Oh, my goodness.
No way. So immediately, what's the next step? All right, called my drone guy. He just got home. He's coming back. We
'Cause we gotta follow
can't
him.
lose track of this deer.
Right.
You're going to ask permission from every landowner. You're going to let them know the situation, how precious this time is for a yes.
That's right.
So every single landowner gracefully said yes. I think it was four doors I had to knock on. And like, you're going to have a drone above your house. Like, this deer is in here. I'm sorry for this situation. But this is what I have to do.
Right.
To make sure this is right. And like I said, the game warden is, I'm texting him the whole time. He knows every situation. I told him he moved. He's on this person's property. I sealed permission. And we knew where he was going. There was a pond up in some woods. And that's where he ended up staying the next 2 days. So at hour 99 was when I was able to get a second shot on this deer. I had got granted permission from the game warden. We showed him pictures. You can see the intestines hanging out. It was not.
He was done.
It was not ideal. He was very weak. He was just sitting in the pond.
Yeah.
Like
He was in the
I
pond.
promise you, it's deer hunters listening to this that has had the situation where they had gut shot a deer, and it was weeks later that they found their deer.
Yeah.
I promise you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That many of people have had this situation.
100%. Yeah.
But with this drone, honestly, this drone saved our life. It saved us.
Yeah.
So I had written permission from the game warden to fly the drone, find the deer. He was in the pond, and land the drone, pursue the deer with the archery equipment. Okay, got it. All right. So we land the drone, and I'm hot pursuit. Like, here we go. This is it. I crawl up to the edge of this pond, and I'm tired. Like, I just so many emotions going on. I don't even know who I am anymore.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I'm praying as hard as I've ever prayed. Like, how do I have God in this? Like, trying to every situation. And I'm not even lying. I got to the edge of the pond. The deer was in the pond. I couldn't even see the deer. I don't know what it was, but it was like everything was blurry to me in the moment. And I snapped out of it. And I'm like, you need to do this. I ranged him at 56 yards, and the water level was right at mid body. And I wanted to put it right at that water level. And that's exactly what I did. And I shot. He jumped up out of the pond, went over the bank, and it was shortly after that he
was gone.
Yeah. So,
wow.
And it was, I wouldn't even call celebration. I told everybody part of this that I want a moment of silence for this animal. I've watched a lot of deer in my life, and this deer, he had my heart.
Yeah.
He had it was a piece of me.
Yeah.
And the moment I shot this deer, especially the second time, you feel so terrible.
Yeah.
For the situation that you've caused, for not only the deer, for everybody involved.
Yeah.
I was so appreciative of everybody that was there and a part of this story.
Yeah.
Because it was a long one.
Yeah.
It was 99 hours. I ended up sleeping in that
99 hours.
that neighbor's basement that
Yeah.
came over. We ended up sleeping in that neighbor's basement, waking up every 2 hours that last night, and waking up every 2 hours just making sure he was right there. He laid on the edge of that pond.
Yeah.
It was a terrible thing to watch. It was sad.
Yeah, because nobody wants to watch an animal suffer, and especially you caused the suffering. You know what I mean? It's
Essentially, I did.
You want to put them down quick and easy.
All I could do every day, all day. Sorry, I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I will do better. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Whatever I can do.
But things happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
That drop tine I shot this last season, he was quartering hardcore to me. I thought I wanted to avoid his shoulder. I shot right behind it. Must have hit a rib or something and it deflected it. I did slice his liver, but it came down kind of like what you're talking.
Yep.
It went in, how do I say this? He's looking at me like this. It went in right behind his shoulder on this side. It came out right in front, in between his legs, but right next to this back leg on this side. So it went in this side and came out this side. I'm shooting like this, so I thought it would go through the deer. It must have hit something and went that, which deflected it
I've
down.
had that happen before, yeah.
Same thing. Intestines hanging out. My buddy calls. I call my buddy that does pictures. I said, dude, I just shot my dream buck. I was like, I'll need you to take pictures. And then I said, I think he's down. He goes, what do you mean you think? And I told him what happened. He said, don't go look for that deer yet. And I was like, dude, I know every deer I've shot here, they go down to the bottom of this hill and they die at the creek. I guarantee he's down there. He goes, man, I just went through this with a guy. He said, same kind of scenario. He said, I'm telling you, wait 5 or 6 hours. Now, this isn't nothing like the 99 hours you did, but at this point, I was like...
You know the feeling.
Yeah, I was like, dude, he's dead.
The what if.
And he said, at this point, I can't go look for him because if I do jump him, he's going to be like, you big idiot. I told you, don't go do it. So I waited for him. I waited 6 hours.
Always listen.
We started walking.
Their moments are going a lot slower than your moments.
Yes.
Yeah.
We start walking, following the blood, and I know we're going down the hill. I know what's going to happen. We're going to round this corner. The creek's right there. He's going to be dead right there.
Yep.
We round the corner. Creek's right there. He was right there, and he jumped up and took off. And I went, are you kidding me?
The rookie mistake.
Oh, my goodness. This is 6 hours later.
Yeah.
I was like, what just happened? I went over. There's blood. I'm like, that's
well,
my
you feel
buck.
like a rookie in the moment anyways.
Yes, 100%. I'm like, now I'm just so devastated. This was my dream buck. I had to get a drone or whatever the next day, and we found him. But we got out there. My buddy has a drone service. We got out there. We met at 6:30. By the time we actually started looking for him, it was probably 7:30 in the morning. It took us a couple hours, but we found him. So when we actually get to the deer, when I'm following, there's fresh blood. It was almost, I was like, dude, this blood's just wet. Like it's like he just walked through here. We found him. Like I said, we started looking at 7:30. I bet we figured it was probably 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning when he actually died, because he wasn't even fully like rigor mortis had really set in and stiff. And I was like, that's crazy to me how tough these animals are and what they can take, you know what I mean? And it was the same scenario where his intestines were hanging. That's how we had the drone on him. You couldn't see his head. You could just see a deer laying there, but I could see the intestines laying out in between his legs. And I'm like, that's my buck. Sure enough, he flew the drone around this way to where you could see the head. There he was laying there.
Yep.
Suckers are tough. Now, that ain't nothing like your 99-hour adventure.
They're incredible.
So devastating. You know what I mean? You just, so much emotion goes through with that. You know what I mean? Highs and lows. And that's one thing Brandon told me was the biggest thing he learned this entire bow season. Bow hunting is a roller coaster. One day you could be on top of the world, and the next day something crazy happened. You make a bad shot, anything, and you're down here at the bottoms now. And then a couple of days later, you might be back up here. It's just up and down. And I think that kind of what makes it so addicting, you know what I mean? It's just so unpredictable, and so anything could happen at any time, you know what I mean? And that roller coaster keeps you riding, you know?
Yeah, you just have to be prepared for any situation.
Yeah.
And be willing to understand that when you take that shot, like this can go a lot of different ways. So taking a risky shot could be detrimental.
Yeah, for sure.
To your emotions and to the deer and like to
100%.
your loved ones, your support. It was obviously a toll for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And
So you recovered the buck.
I recovered the buck, and we had our moment of silence with this deer as he took his last couple
definitely
breaths.
Appreciate that.
You know, and I just prayed I just prayed and I thank God, that it was finally over. Not that I finally had the deer. It was more of, I'm sorry, and I will do better. I always hold myself accountable. Just like what I say, like when the neighbor's killing my deer, you can't blame anybody but yourself. What can I do better?
How can I prevent that?
How can I prevent that? I'm gonna work harder. I'm gonna prove myself. I'm gonna prove to to myself mainly that I can make the difference.
It's almost like you felt like you let yourself down.
Oh, 100%.
No, but you didn't let nobody else down.
And obviously at the moment, whenever we finally had our hands on them, I felt very undeserving. Like the deer should not have been mine. John maybe could have had the deer,
But John was doing all kinds of shady stuff. He didn't deserve the deer.
He might have made a good shot and the deer
He
would have
might
died in
have,
2 seconds.
but he didn't.
But you got to have those things.
Yeah.
Those things just go through my mind.
Yeah.
And,
You seem like you're a very emotional person.
Very.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and I am
that come
too.
from my mother.
That's how I know.
That come from my mother, and that come from God. Because I'm telling you now, you get me in the book.
Yeah, dude.
And I get emotional. It turns it on.
My wife will be watching something, and she'll look over. She'll be like, "Are you crying?"
Yeah,
And I'm like,
she's dry-eyed completely, and you're bawling your eyes out.
I'll be like, babe, how can you not even shed a tear right now?
No, I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I ain't crying.
I just did that last night. She's like, are you crying? I was like, no. Why would I be crying? And I could feel the tear, and I'm like, oh, God. As soon as she looked away, I was like,
Yeah, I've been there many a time.
yeah, dude.
I'm
crazy.
emotional, man.
Yeah. And I love it. I love it, honestly. And but so you recovered the deer, and then what's happens now? You
obviously, it's hot.
it had to bring a lot of attention.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we had a crowd for sure. We had a crowd, and we measured the deer. I want to say my good buddy of mine, we were all huddled up in a circle, no official scores, because there is a guy out there that's saying this was an official score, which he was not.
Yeah.
100%. The guy that scored the deer on the tailgate of my truck.
Yeah.
We scored them. Most of the time, I do not score my deer. If I shoot a mature deer, I respect the deer. I don't need to know a score.
Yeah.
But obviously, we have a 200 and some inch whitetail in front of us.
Yeah.
We're curious.
Yeah.
We had 99 hours and think about what is this deer going to score. We got to see him from every angle with a drone. He was just incredible.
Yeah.
2 double drop tines. He lost 1 drop tine. It was a double drop. Obviously an antler gets in between it and it breaks off, and he actually cut his ear from that fight. He had a couple tips that you could tell he'd been fighting.
Yeah.
But we ended up scoring a deer. I want to say that he scored it on the back of the tailgate at 218 is what he scored, and which is phenomenal. Incredible.
218 is phenomenal. I can't even imagine seeing that in person.
I can't even imagine it. And every time I look at it, it's incredible.
That one scored, which I just did it at the Show Me Whitetails, and I don't ever score my deer.
Yeah, I don't either.
They were my son talked me into it. Basically, he was just like, and my wife, she was like,
well
just do it. Yeah, might as well. They're doing it for free. Why not? And I was like, okay. He scored 158 3/4 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that's a big deer.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't imagine a 218 walk. I would be like, oh my God.
I'm like that every time.
Crap, dude. That's insane.
Yeah. That's what we scored him on the tailgate as.
Yeah.
So,
well, congratulations on that. You
really
did get him.
I really appreciate it, and it was really hard for me to take that congratulations.
Yeah.
Especially right there at the get go. Things were weird. Lost a best friend.
Dude.
I gained some friends.
So much drama surrounding it.
Yeah.
But that's what happens when it's a 218-inch buck.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
there was only one other person that surfaced that had a picture of this deer, and actually 2 neighbors over from where this deer's home was. As we were flying the drone, we noticed a big group of deer on this property that has nothing. And we're like, what in the world's going on here? And we got to looking, and it ended up being daylight. And there is a corn pile the size of a hood.
Somebody was dumping corn.
Yes. And I'm like, somebody was trying to kill this deer.
Wow, yeah, 100%.
He ends up being there part of the track.
No way.
I don't say nothing.
Yeah.
He let us cross his property. We were flying a drone over his property. He's never had a picture of this deer. And he has a corn pile the size of a hood.
Wow.
He had trail cameras everywhere,
How did he not
all
get
over
a
his
picture of
property.
that deer?
He had no idea.
Wow.
No idea. Actually, it was the very first day that I was hunting this deer. Whenever I was walking out, he met me at the road. And he said, "Oh, you're hunting?" "Yeah, I'm just doe hunting."
Yeah. Yeah.
It was that same guy. I
Yeah.
didn't let him know. I've always been. I've
Right.
been burned.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let a whole lot of information
Yeah.
out.
I'll let you know after the fact.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We don't, and I
Yeah.
think most hunters, when they're honed in on a nice buck, they're not telling not
Some.
anybody
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
is nearby
Yeah.
anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so I know we've been on here a while, and you're gonna have to come back. We got more stuff to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I do
absolutely.
want to ask you about, because there was some controversy, and I wanted you to be able to explain your side of what happened, because
Yep.
we were at the Show Me Whitetail.
Mm-hmm.
Did you win
I won big buck contest.
big buck
Yep.
contest?
Yep.
Okay.
So what happened there is, prior to this, so I shot the deer in 24. Well, that off season, right after deer season, there was an expo for a big buck competition in Nebraska, and I'm like, shoot, I
Yeah.
love expos. I love talking to people. How amazing would it be? I'm curious what the score is.
Yeah, for
You know,
sure.
Just thinking that it was some score just for that event, not knowing, okay, I
Sorry,
can
I
go
had
ahead.
to stop you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think I said 258 on the deer. It was 158. If I said 258.
I always say one,
Yeah.
and you're now saying two.
Yeah.
I'm
My son, when
you'll catch me say
he go-
125.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He goes, and I won't forget, he'll be like,
I didn't even catch it.
are you going? And I may have said one, but chances are, because I was like, he goes, what do you think of the score?
I guarantee you the listeners are going to let you
Yeah,
know.
for sure. I said, what do you, because they'll be like, no way.
Thinking
Yeah.
that you actually meant it.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm
boy,
like,
they're on a whole nother horse.
my son was like, what do you think he's going to score? And I said, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe 250, and he's like, what? And I'm like, what do you mean, what? You
I
think
did.
that? He goes, that's a big deal. And I go, I mean 150. Sorry, So sorry, I had to stop you just in case I did say
absolutely.
that.
I get
I
it.
wanted to clarify.
Because they will
They'll
tell
light
ya.
me up.
They
You know
will
what I
tell
mean?
Yeah, I got a social media. Trust
Yeah,
me.
yeah. Yeah. So,
but-
all right, go ahead. Sorry
But
about that.
no, you're good. You're good. So I take them to this expo thinking they're just scorers. I don't know that in this moment that I can choose whether I put him in the books or not. This scorer approaches me and he's like, "Man, that's such a nice deer. Such a privilege to score." I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." Like,
Yeah.
didn't even think nothing of it. I just thought it was for that event and that event only. I've never, like you, I've never had a deer scored. I don't know the system, nothing. I don't know that there's a Buckmaster and a Pope and Young or Boone and Crockett.
Boone and Crockett,
Yeah, Boone
yeah.
and Crockett. See, I don't even know the names.
Yeah.
Like, this is new to me
Yeah.
because I finally shot a deer of that caliber.
Yeah.
So this is new territory. And I had scheduled an appointment to have him scored and put in the books with the guy prior to this. And I go to meet him at this appointment. It was probably a month or so later. He's like, "Dude, I heard your deer was already scored." I'm like, "Yeah, what's up? Like, what's wrong with that?"
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Man, I can't score your deer. Like, what the heck? It's already been scored once." I'm like, "What you talking about? Are you serious? Like, you're telling me I can't do nothing?" He's
Yeah.
like, not shoved me to the side. Like, basically just like said, "Kick rocks."
Yeah.
I ain't.
You done had your stuff scored.
He wanted the glory of
Yeah,
scoring this
yeah,
deer.
got you.
And he got
See, I must-
he got upset.
Everywhere
Which
around him.
I get it. Like
Yeah.
I didn't know the books. Like I don't know the rules.
Wait, am I the first podcast you've been on about this dude?
Yes. I'm sorry. You're I think his name is Nate that you're gonna be meeting up with for Missouri Woods and Water.
Nate Thomas.
Yes,
Right, I did one with him last week.
Okay, I met him at the expo.
Okay.
And I told him sorry that I didn't come on to his expo or his podcast because with the story I knew it was very
Sorry,
very,
Nate.
very touchy. You know, the
Yeah.
story is very touchy.
Yeah.
But it is, you know, now that I explain it and you know I'm telling you the story, it's reasonable.
Yeah.
This happens.
It's something that happened.
Yeah.
It was once you let that arrow go,
Mhm.
a lot of it's out of your control.
Right.
You're
Most
at the
people-
mercy of
what would most of people done in that
they'd
situation?
have tried to figure out how to get in there and kill him.
Exactly. Yeah.
And they would have been wrong.
Yeah. But
And when you're telling me this, I'm thinking, shoot, I'd have gone in there and killed that deer.
yeah, most people
And that would have been wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If I was going to do it the exact right way, I'd have had to do it just like you because, like you said, once you fly that drone over, you can't hunt that area
24
for
hours.
24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So every time that drone goes over there, there's 24 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, so
set
it's
that
like,
timer back
now most people will be like, shoot, I'm going to get it.
because he stayed in the same exact spot for 3 days.
Yeah.
Same spot. He would get up, move barely.
And thank
It's in
goodness-
tall CRP.
Thank goodness the game warden even gave you permission to go
By
ahead.
the grace of God, they had a meeting, and with I want to say his sergeant or whatever.
Yeah.
They had a meeting, and they all come up with the conclusion that this deer was going to die. Like,
Yeah.
let's put it out of its misery. And I 100% agreed. Like,
Yeah.
we were saying that from the get go.
Yeah.
But obviously, we have to prove that you know he's passing
Yeah.
away.
For sure.
So, anyways, back to Nebraska and then meeting with this scorer. You know, he kind of puts me off to the side. I'm like, well, what now?
yeah.
Like, I can't score him again. So time goes on, and that's why we think I killed him in 25. I finally reached out. Well, I don't know if they reached out to me. I might have posted on their page like, hey, I'd love to take my deer to your expo.
Yeah.
But I have a situation. So the scorer there, Dan, which is an amazing guy, I had conversation with back and forth. And I explained the whole situation. I even told him about the score that I was going to go see. He shoved me off to the side. And I'm like, am I dead in the water here? Like, what do I do? I can't find this guy that scored my deer. I've contacted the expo in Nebraska. I cannot find this scorer. Like, to finally put this deer in the books. So
the guy that scored it in Nebraska, he didn't put it in the books.
No, he did not put it in the books.
Got you.
I knew so I got this sheet from Nebraska. It was not the score sheet. I never got the score sheet from this deer. It was just like it says Nebraska Expo, and it says how many points, which was 30. And 30 point buck. Everybody has to say that 30 point buck.
30 point buck.
So,
My kids know that song
oh,
very well. Every
everybody.
hunting season.
Yeah, yep. I shot the 30 point buck.
You are the man.
So, anyway, so
I can't get that song
I
out of
can't.
my head.
Yeah, I know. I do that to a lot of people, I guess.
That's awesome.
But
dude.
I just cannot. There was 2 names on it. The second scorer only put his first name. So I'm dead in the water. I can't do
Yeah.
nothing. Hey, can you help me out?
So you can't put him in the books because
I can't find the score.
somebody already scored him,
Yeah.
and
so-
you can't find the guy that scored him.
No.
So now you can't get him in the book.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I contact Dan and I let him know the whole situation. I mean, I have it in text message that I explained everything
Yeah.
that had happened. And I had probably an hour and some long conversation with him talking about the situation. He's like, let me see what I can do.
Yeah.
I'm going to contact him. And I'm gonna try to get something worked out for you, buddy. And like, this is a once in a lifetime animal, and I'm gonna help you.
Yeah.
Cool, man. And he was so phenomenal to talk to. You know, he helped me just like relive the moment and understand how severe of a situation, you know, it is, or not severe, but special of a situation
Right.
it is to shoot this caliber deer, you know. And he gave me the whole hem-haw about,
Yeah.
you know, this is a once in a lifetime.
So he's gonna try to help you get it.
He
in
was
the
going to try to
books.
help me, and he said he was going to contact him. And he at the right before the expo, I was like, "Man, you heard anything?" And he's like, "What you talking about?"
Oh no.
And I'm like, "Dude, we talked about
Yeah.
this. Like, come on, man! Like, he's like, oh yeah, I haven't heard anything back. Like, I haven't heard nothing. So we haven't heard anything, and we're gonna good. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm bringing my
So
deer
he
to the
told you
expo.
we're in the good. Bring him.
He said
basically.
green light.
Okay.
So I bring him to the expo.
Yeah.
It's all cool. I meet such a vast majority of just amazing people.
Yeah, for sure.
And like I don't like standing next to my deer just because like I like to be humble.
Yeah.
And I want people to come up to me because they want to talk about deer.
Right.
And I could at the end of the conversation like, yeah, this is my deer.
Yeah.
Like,
Not me. I'd be like, that's mine.
like
See that? That's me.
yeah. Yeah.
Not kidding. No, I'm kidding, kind of kidding, not kidding. You know.
No, like I mean I enjoy it. to
Yeah,
an
for
extent.
sure.
But I really strive to respect the animal as much as possible. And part of that is just he's glorious. He's amazing. But so
He's like a king.
he's amazing.
You know what I mean? It's just he's something
he's
else.
everything. I say everything, but everything I could have
Your
pictured.
wife's like,
she
you're
does.
watching everything but you.
I get caught on that all the time, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, but it was an amazing expo. I had such a great time.
Yeah.
I met a lot of people. It was, and then I don't even care about the trophy. All I care about at this point is just putting the deer in the books.
Yeah.
We're finally done. Like I took a breath of fresh air.
So he did get in the books.
No, so
Oh.
we agree.
But wait, there's more.
So Pope and Young, for one, I cannot put him in the books because we flew a drone and he didn't die within the first 24 hours. These are all rules I'm just now hearing about.
Well, and just like we talked, I had no idea a deer could only be scored one time.
Yeah.
I mean that.
Yeah.
And I've talked to buddies that
And we may not be that good at deer hunters.
Yeah,
That's what
we must not be. I'm like, I had no idea.
yeah.
But
yeah.
and I've talked to buddies of mine and kind of give them the rundown a little bit, and they'll be like, "Dude, I didn't know it." I'm like, "I had no idea, dude.
Yeah.
I've never scored deer."
They call it score shopping, and that's what I was accused of.
Yeah. So
Score,
you're trying. They're saying you try to get a bigger score,
Yeah.
so you try to get different scores. And
Yep. So without knowing the background of everything that went on, all the troubles that I went through, without knowing anything, people make assumptions,
Yeah.
which is understandable. From the outside, I understand why people are thinking that.
Right, but they
But
don't know the facts.
They don't know what went down and the
Yeah.
conversations that were had. And, I apologize for anybody that thinks that I tried taking it away from them because that's
Yeah.
not what I'm trying to do.
Right.
I told Dan, and I hope I can, say his name, but he was a great help through the whole thing.
Yeah.
And he kind of got put into a mess of things with it already being scored, and he's went up to bat for me. I truly believe out of good faith, because he could have just dropped me. He's like, man, you're just like the first guy.
Yeah.
But anyways, he's up to bat for me. He's trying to help me get this thing in the books, and he
Don't
finally
burn your foot on that fire.
Oh, I felt it getting warm. So he finally got a hold of them, and they said they're going to go off this first score sheet. They had found the first score sheet
From Nebraska?
from Nebraska.
Okay.
They found it, and it was a sheet that I had never had. And that score sheet showed 223 inches.
Okay.
Dan scored him at 225. I want to say with 27, 28 scoreable. But the first guy was 30.
Okay.
So, anyways, that's kind of the story with that. And then once they want to say, "Oh, you got the trophy," you won the big buck. I'm like, "Oh, cool," like
Yeah.
it was an awesome expo. I really am grateful that they wanted my deer there.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
I was privileged of that.
Yep.
And so next thing you know, there's people on Facebook saying, "Oh, this deer's been scored more than
Yeah.
once." Some guy said it's been scored three times. I'm like, "What are you talking
Yeah.
about?" Technically, if you want to be technical, 3 times, but
Right.
by a buddy of mine.
Right.
And I understand the situation. I know who it was because I only told one other person that he was scored by a buddy and then scored in Nebraska.
Yeah.
I know
So
who
you
that
know
was.
exactly who
I
it
know who it
was.
was going
Yeah.
around spreading that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's going to see it, but I'm in good faith, and
Right.
I have nothing to hide whatsoever.
I don't get any vibe from you like you're trying to be sneaky or you're
And I
trying to pull some
appreciate that
stuff
because
at all.
that's
So,
exactly I strive to be humble in what I do, and we eat 10 deer a year,
Yeah.
roughly 10 deer a year, and I respect these animals like I feel like nobody else,
Yeah.
to an extent, and so
and to me, that whatever that deer scores at the end of the day doesn't matter to me. I look at these things and I'm like, they're just gorgeous. They're gorgeous animals. You know what I mean? And I have a relationship with that animal because I put it down. And just like you,
Yeah.
you may have years of experience with that animal. You know what I mean? And it means something to me. I don't care about the score. It's about my relationship, the intimacy.
there's
with that
just
deer.
like life. There's a story with every
Yeah.
animal.
That's what my deal is. Camp Broadside, blood trails and bucktails. Every hunt is a story.
Yeah.
Because when I was thinking about doing this, I never thought, ooh, I'm just gonna bring people in that shoot 220-inch deer. You know what I mean? It was every hunt I've ever been on, whether I killed, didn't kill, whether I killed a doe, whether I killed a young buck, whether I killed an old buck. There was always a story. I come home, I tell my wife, or I tell my kids, or I tell my buddies. There's a story with every hunt. You know what I'm saying?
And I'd like to think that it being accepted on a podcast, that it isn't because I killed a big deer. It's because of my love and respect for
Right.
an animal and how much I care and how much work I put into it.
100%.
Like I dissect every single little thing.
Yeah.
To an extent, I stay up at night, and I think that everybody
Yeah.
is
Well,
trying to
and
get in on my secrets.
Yeah.
And, I've
And
already
you're
gave you a
somebody
lot
that
of
I'm like, man, I would, and I've got it recorded, so I will play it back so I can learn them all.
Well,
but no, I'm saying you're somebody I can talk
I take
to
honor in that
and
I
learn
appreciate
from.
that.
You know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
so much. I love the deer hunt. I'm all about it. I'm like you. It's everything to me. I love to bow hunt, period. But there's so much that I don't know because I didn't dive into all the technical stuff. I was more of a, I'm going hunting. I know where the deer are moving. I'm going to get as close as I can to that area, and I'm hoping one's going to come by me. You know what I mean? I never, before the last about the last 4 or 5 years, I've really started diving into things, but it was always just a hope that one would walk by me, basically.
Yeah.
Now I go in thinking, where are they? Where are they living at? There's so much to it. You know what I mean? So you're definitely a person I'm like,
I always say that I just have so much time and I spend so much time out there that I'm just gonna get lucky. One's gonna come by. That's what happens.
That's gotta be it.
I just spend so much
if
time
I
out there.
spend the whole season in
One
the
deer is gonna
tree,
pass me.
a deer is coming by and I'm putting it down.
Exactly. Yep.
That's awesome.
I'd rather be
dude.
lucky than good.
Well, I'm sorry you had, I know that had to be hard. Would you say 99 hours? Was that what it was?
99 hours.
I know that had to be a tough situation, a battle inside, especially the good and the evil inside. I mean, there's a battle. You lost friends over this deer. You got people talking about you, like, oh, well, he scored the deer 3 times or whatever. So there's a lot.
It never ends.
Yeah, and it's just like you just wanted to kill this magical beast, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you did it. So
Yeah.
congratulations
I
to
appreciate
that. I hate to hear all the drama that's surrounding it. But that's what happens, I think, sometimes when, especially like the area you're at, where you've got other hunters around you, and especially people you've shown the stuff to, they want to kill that deer too. So
It's always going to happen.
yeah,
Anywhere you go.
yeah,
That's why, I almost lean away from buying property because I'm stuck to it.
yeah,
Your neighbor
that's
will
true.
dictate your property.
yeah,
I promise you can have a bad neighbor.
yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
I've had many of properties I walked away from with that just permission,
because yeah,
but I can walk away from it,
yeah.
and I'm not
If
gonna.
it's your land,
I'm
you
not
gotta
gonna
deal
have a
with it.
loss. If I buy a piece of property and me and the neighbor get at it, and next thing you know, he's bulldozing everything up against it and
Yep.
puts a giant wall, and I'm gonna take a hit on that property.
Yeah, that's
I'm
right.
not gonna make a good investment.
100%.
So that's why I really strive to never. I've tempted.
I never thought
But-
about it like that.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's true.
I'm telling you, dude.
You're
I
stuck.
stay
If
up
you
at night.
if you have your property, you have to make it to where the deer are going to come there, and that means your neighbors have to and I don't mean help you, but I mean, they're going to dictate a lot about what's coming onto your property. So,
or what's coming off.
for sure.
They're gonna, as soon as that deer steps over, you're dead.
It's over.
And he's probably got a corn pile.
Yeah.
Come to find, I've had a lot of properties next to me with corn piles.
Yeah.
Trying to get the upper hand.
Dude,
that's the easy way
I'll never
out.
say where, whatever, because I'm not snitches get stitches, so I don't say nothing because I don't want stitches. But no, I'm saying I've walked properties, cross lines, trailing blood, and I probably shouldn't have been there, but I'm trailing blood, so I'm going until and all of a sudden I look over and there's a feeder over here.
You're
a
like,
feeder over here. And I'm like,
where all the deer
there
are.
you are. Yeah. And I'm like, all right, well, let me back out of here because I'm sure if there's a feeder right here, there's probably a camera real close by. And I realize now I'm not on my property no more because I don't have a feeder.
Yeah.
So let me get out of here,
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people out there. So that's why I stress to you, kudos for doing the right thing.
I'm the guy that's going to climb the hardest mountain to prove myself.
Yeah.
I want to climb the biggest, hardest mountain. I'm just always the one to try to push myself, to mentally exhaust myself to see how far I can go.
Yeah.
I helped an outfitter in New Mexico for a season, and the number one thing I wanted to do was pack an elk out of the mountains.
Yeah.
Give me 2 hindquarters. Dude, give it to me.
Yeah.
I pack majority of my deer out on my back whole, and I tie the legs together, and a fully mature deer. I do a lot of management hunts, and you can't drive a vehicle in there.
Yeah.
And I'll kill these deer at the very back, just because I want to carry it.
Yeah. Carry that sucker out of there.
Yeah.
Dude,
I got
awesome.
videos of just carrying this big 8-pointer, and my wife was with me, and we went up a hill and down a hill, and it was 3/4 of a mile with this fully mature
That's
deer.
some work, bro.
Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah.
I loved it. I hit my knees at the end, and that's exactly what I wanted.
That's
I
freaking
like to
awesome,
test
dude.
myself.
Yeah.
And it goes along with whitetails, and I never take the easy road. I
Right.
never want to take the easy road.
Yeah.
I want to work harder and prove myself, not to anybody else. I don't care about the likes. I don't care about all that.
It's for you.
I have a Facebook, and I have an account, and I post reels, but I'm proving myself.
Yeah.
And I really want to strive to be a better man every day.
And that's awesome. And I'm there too. I'm like every day I try to be like, what can I do better? Some days I don't do as good as I want to do or whatever. But even when I started this, people will be like, oh, it's going to grow and it's going to do this. And then I'll get me to where I'm like, oh, is it going to grow? Or it didn't grow as fast as I thought it might, or this happened or that happened. And I'm like, at the end of the day, I do this because I enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
I love to meet new people. I love to hear stories. You know what I mean? People like coming on because I have several people that want to come on, and they come on and they enjoy it. And I'm like, that's what I like.
Yep.
If it grows, if anything ever becomes of it, so be it. But I love this.
I had such a great time here.
Man.
It's been phenomenal.
I love to hear that,
honestly,
dude.
I was a lot more comfortable than I'd have thought. And
nice.
This is the first time this story has ever left my mouth.
That's awesome, dude. I feel honored. I feel honored to have you here and for you to tell all the story and all the details that you don't necessarily want to tell everybody.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that more than you know.
Absolutely. How much time do we got? I got one question.
Go ahead.
It
Depends on the question.
This question set me on this edge of my seat. I had lost my mom, and I was holding her hand when she passed. So I was in a really low spot in my life, and I had a really good buddy of mine named Micah. I was working this farm, and I was weed eating fence, and I was just like trying to be right with myself and pick myself up. And this guy stops, and he's like, "Man, you all right?" And he just had very few words. And I'm like, yeah, I'm all right, and I'm going to deer hunt, and I'm going to strive to chase that one deer. I'm going to, that's what I'm focused on. And I'm going to spend everything I have to pursue this animal. And that's what's going to make me happy. And he basically asked me, he said, what if you pursued God that hard?
Woo!
And I'm like, oh my gosh, where are my priorities?
Yeah.
My Lord and Savior that has died on the cross for me. And I dropped the ball.
Yeah.
I dropped the ball.
Yeah.
And I should, I spend a lot of time in the woods and a lot of
Yeah.
time chasing those animals. And,
Yeah.
and, you know, what about God that is
Yeah.
sacrificed
That's
everything
so
for
true,
you?
man. Wow.
Yeah.
You got me a little emotional
Man,
over here.
dude,
That's
he has no idea
that's deep.
how important
That,
those
that
few words
message
were.
was.
He asked, he listened, and he loved.
Yeah.
That's what a disciple is. And I cherish that man for saying those few words to me,
Yeah.
to sit me on my butt. And that's what we have to do as Christians to each other,
Yeah. 100%.
to sit each other down and tell each other, where is your focus?
Yeah.
Where should you be putting a lot of that effort you put into chasing these whitetails?
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you, if you chase God as hard as you chase whitetails, God is going to provide.
Yes.
God is going to
100%.
provide everything you could ever dream of.
Yes, sir.
I don't know anybody that's been in the darkest of depths of times with God by their side.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody. You?
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Highest
Yeah.
of highs, man.
Yeah. Always.
With God by your side.
Yeah. For sure.
He's steering my car.
Yeah. He has to.
Yeah.
That reminded me of a thing I actually read, I think on social media somewhere, but it was, as much time as you spend looking at your phone, what if you spent that same amount of time looking at the Bible?
I'm guilty.
I'm like, man,
Guilty.
I
Yeah.
spend so much time in my phone
Yeah.
due to
Replace it.
especially having a
Imagine how great your
and
life.
this is crazy because I go, oh well, in my head I'll be like, man, you know, I'm doing a podcast now and I'm trying to get it to grow a little bit. I own a camo company and I'm trying to get in the hunting industry. I'm trying to get people to love my stuff. So I'm always on my phone. I'm always doing something. And I'm like, so I have to be doing this, is what I tell myself. But then I'm like, but if you spend that time in the Bible too, God provides
Mhm.
your wants, your desires and stuff.
Absolutely.
If you're loyal and faithful to him, he's going to be loyal and faithful to you. And it's like, I could be spending more time in that Bible. And honestly, in my what my head's telling me right now, the stuff that I want to grow is going to grow even more so.
Mhm.
Man, yeah, that's you're right. If we put as much effort as we do into doing the things that we love, chasing whitetail, whatever, and
It can
chasing
it can
God,
overtake your life.
yeah, for sure.
It's like a drug.
And we can say,
I've been guilty. I've
can-
been in both
yeah,
shoes.
we
so
can say,
I know.
you know, I spend a lot of time with God when I'm in a tree. I do,
Mhm.
but it's not chasing God.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a big difference.
Close your eyes for 2 seconds and just picture your Lord and Savior hanging on the cross, sacrificing his whole entire life for you.
Yeah, dude.
Just picture that, man. Now open your eyes and live life like your Lord and Savior loves you
Yeah.
enough to do that.
Yeah. Amen, brother.
Dude, just
don't
love
think-
hard, be the best man you can be every day.
That's the best advice that could be told.
Man, I appreciate everything.
Yeah. Dakota, thank you for coming on, man.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it way more than you even know. And I hope you come back. We have a lot more to talk about.
You say when and where?
So, and I'll get your wife on here.
She's a lot better than I am.
Yeah, I want to talk to her too. Appreciate
She's
everything,
amazing.
man. Appreciate your message. Appreciate the word.
Oh,
Appreciate you sharing the intimate details of your story and stuff, and more than you know, man. Really
Appreciate that.
appreciate it.
It's been an honor.
I know this has been a long one, but I think that right there makes it all worth it.
Thank
So
you.
thank you so much.
Absolutely, man.
Everybody watching, thank you for watching, man. I hope you hit that subscribe button. And as always, blend better, hunt harder.
Every season brings us back for more. It's blood trails and bucktails, round the fire where the whiskey sails. Every hunt's a story, every shot's a chance. What's your story?